Good evening, everybody. For some reason, everybody's cameras are black on my screen, and what? That'll probably do it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. I need to quickly do some changes to my camera setup, but we'll do that in a moment once the trailer's going. I hope everyone's having a great time, and I'm happy to see so many people here, and as well Lambert, one of my cast members, who would be in one of these boxes down the bottom here. Thanks you if you came from his community for being here. We do we always have a couple of announcements before we start, the first of which being to promote ourselves. If you really enjoy these broadcasts and really enjoy these shows, the best way to help out is either by becoming a Twitch sub or going over to our Patreon. Patreon's the best way because not only do we get the largest lion's share of the profit, which then goes straight back into these broadcasts, but also you get more benefits yourself, as we have a lot of behind the scenes stuff and handouts and insider information that goes to our patrons, plus there's technically like special roles on the Discord, etc. So if you really want to help us out, that's how. Other than that, we also have the wonderful people over at Syrinscape. I use their online player to send music to my players, but they have an app that can get you started, and they have these free sound sets and soundscapes that you can use at your D&D table. Find out more by going to www.syrinscape.com or following the links in our panels and description below. I'm not going to keep everybody around for a while, so let's go ahead and start tonight's broadcast. Oh dear, everyone could just see a black screen and hear us giggling. But we forgot to work it out in the break. So do you know what? I'm gonna do the recap this week. But what I would do is allow you guys the chance to earn yourselves some inspiration during the session. I have some ideas of spicing up how we get our inspiration, and there's and I've been researching the tome that is the internet for ideas. So I'm gonna definitely steal some stuff from that I've seen on TikTok mainly. But last week, if you missed,
no sound not working.
What? Sound is showing for me. Oh, it's just gone really low. Trailer back. Sound back. Sound good. At least they sound okay.
Yep, sound good now.
Okay, cool. Apparently, the audio slider had gone all the way down. Apologies there, friends. But last week, what happened was... It's been a great broadcast starter. But anyway. You finally began your journey towards Atria. And you set off after some minor repairs were done on the ship to fix a golem-sized hole in the loading bay. And, you know, put out a few fires. You also spoke to the brownie, who is looking into organizing a meeting for you with another meeting with you with the higher ups of the Fey Mafia. But you progressed on only in about 3 days into your travel, noticing a towering pillar of smoke rising out of the forest. and upon investigation, a large elemental creature was ripping through a portion of the forest. A strike force of the Skyfire Adventuring Company set down and let the airship center and used it, circle, and used your brilliant abilities to lock this elemental down and defeat it very, very quickly. But as for a lot of the forests, there was little you could do. So you progressed on. You did notice, however, a group of flying creatures looking to go and start putting out said fire, so you assumed that the most part was dealt with. Other than that, we left off with your adventuring party settling down, well, somewhat settling down, landing the delegation party off on the road before the mountain with no end, the Atrian capital. You've still got some ways to go in terms of climbing the mountain, as you had to go to a portion of the road that was wide enough to settle down on. But you have all dismounted. Zep has fixed a fence, and you've just finished consulting with some of the locals as to where to head. But party, what would you like to do? Oh, also there was a big thing that we probably need to roll back on slightly. So before we do that, I'm going to throw this to... I'm going to set the scene, and I'll let you guys go in for it. Obviously, you have just defeated this pillaring, flaming monstrosity, and you've redothed onto the skyship. Zaraj, Sol's brilliant white hair has changed to a familiar fiery shade. And in terms of her demeanor and her spellcasting abilities, Ruby's back.
Does she say anything about it herself or mention it in any way?
Also, you should be able to grab your character now.
Thank you.
It's a complete change in demeanor. Sol is more reserved and usually more quiet and more focused. Ruby's all show, passion, fun when she's playing. Sol does not smile when she is in combat. Ruby always smirks like there's a joke that only she's in on.
Can I do a perception or insight check to smell check her like I did when she became
Oh yeah,
Sol?
you can totally vibe check. You can see if she passes the vibe check.
Okay, smell check. With a 10. You seem very different, Sol. You remind me of someone.
She will reach out and boop Zaraj on the nose.
Can you make me a fire?
Well,
Like in your hands, not like to the ship, obviously. Zep would be very upset.
better than me lighting you on fire, I guess. She'll take her thumb and go, little flick of flame, poof.
Cool. Like a Zippo. And I take out my Zippo that Zep gave me, and I think, and I touch our fires.
God, I'm supposed to inhale spit while laughing. She smiles. Very nice. That's a new thing.
It's really you! And I want to jump on her. But once the fires are put out correctly so I don't catch on fire. Like, snuff the candle kind of thing and then jump on her.
Ah, my thumb's out.
I missed you.
I missed you too. You were very quiet yesterday, so I didn't get the chance to see you. Hi, yes, I'm back for now.
What does this mean for now?
I don't know.
Are
I
you going?
know.
To stay for dinner, or
I can make dinner. And then I'm going to disorganize Soul's kitchen and reorganize it like it was my kitchen because it's obsessive about
Yes.
alphabetization.
rightfully so. But well, I will help you make dinner. I'm glad that you're here. I hope you can stay. I'm already in my head planning out all of our future adventures together in like some really cheesy montage with like romantic, like cartoony, like me and Ruby like hand in hand, like like.
I got the
Giving
Mario
her
athletic
meta.
theme playing in my head.
No, it's what I've got. I've currently got that Pedro Pascal, Nick Cage meme that's going around, like where it's just like, have you not seen that edit right now? Where it's Nick Cage is like super concerned in one seat of the car, and Pedro Pascal's like, ha ha ha. It's that. It's Beth. You don't seem to understand that meme, so go look it up.
I have not seen it.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to Google that.
Oh
That's
yeah,
how I'm
that's...
picturing
I
it
just
too.
saw a screenshot. I've not seen the rest of it.
Oh, it plays
Beautiful.
music as well. It's like it's good. Very good.
Well, I'm gonna go off with
Oh,
Ruby.
okay.
And-
Yes, now I see it.
Gonna help her make dinner. But if we fast forward to the next day, she's still there?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Don't get fur in the food.
Oh, what?
Don't get fur in the food. Ziraj was gonna help you make dinner. Just don't get fur in the food.
I'm not really helping. I'm helping like Midwestern moms when they go to each other's houses for dinner and they go, "Oh, I'm help you in the kitchen," but then they don't do anything and they just sort of lean on the counter and they talk like the whole time while the other
Moral
person
support. Yes,
does all of the cooking. Yeah, I'm doing that.
They just
Yeah,
keep the wine
for it.
glasses filled.
Yeah, yes, yeah. And, tell other people to get out, skedaddle out of the kitchen until dinner's ready.
with that accent.
Yeah.
Now do Zedaar doing that accent.
Get out of the kitchen. I can't do the... You must skedaddle.
It still kind of worked.
No, I'll take it.
Okay. So yes, you are currently on the roadside. It's colder, far colder. It's like, as well, you're high enough up the mountain that currently you're in like the cloud layer almost. So there's a misty haze to this like rocky, arid scape. It's probably like 11F. Like, it's cold.
Nobody refers to as F. Just
I do.
Also, I'm British. I have no idea what fucking 11F is.
It's like...
It's like
Minus
negative
I don't
11.
know,
12?
4
Minus
So it's
11.
like-
Celsius.
Minus
It's
11.
literally what I'm experiencing right now. Then,
Yeah.
That's how cold it is in Finland right now.
Ugh.
Below freezing. You're right. It'd be below freezing. You're correct.
Yeah, it's 11 below.
How high up are we?
Oh, good question. I think you are roughly six or 7,000 feet.
Okay, because I thought you said earlier we were like 30,000 feet. I'm like, Jesus,
No, you're not like.
higher
Um,
than Everest.
It is a big mountain. But the city isn't. So the city itself, you're not quite there, is about 9,200 feet above sea level. But it's not at the peak of the mountain. It's like the last plateau before you would start climbing the peaks. And it is considered one of the largest. It's the largest mountain on this side of the mountain range that's on this continent, sort of thing. On the Atrian side of the border, at the very least.
Isn't like Mexico City is like the highest city in the world, right?
Mexico
Like,
City?
big city. Yeah, that's only 2,200 meters. Wait, so
Isn't like Kathmandu higher? I don't
No,
think
it's gotta
Mexico
be
City is near the top of that list.
No, it's in Bolivia.
Yeah, Mexico
Shoot.
City's got a
I'm
lake.
just trying to figure.
Relevance, guys. Relevance.
He's trying to work out. So
I'm trying
well,
to figure out like
that's about
how high-
7,000.
Yeah.
Mexico City's about 7,000 foot.
Yeah, 7 point. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just need to know how I need to know how my character's failing with like breathlessness and stuff. My guy lives underground for like the majority of his life. Like this,
And we're at high altitude.
we're
I would
below
say
sea
that
level.
You're definitely
in Kenset Keep.
probably gonna need some time to acclimate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. at
It's being
7,000.
carried by somebody.
Like,
There's
Can
some
we get a
leaves
Sherpa?
you can
Can we get
chew
a
Purple
on.
skin is looking decidedly lilac right now.
I'm gonna give you some catnip to chew on and tell you that this will help you acclimate to the
James,
altitude.
There's a lot
James
more.
will give him
if-
a
if-
medicine
if you
check
wanna-
to help. Oh,
You can give a medicine check for sure. But
Do you eat this leaf?
I'm gonna go visit Noah as well and get some real leaf.
I bet.
it'd be a solid
you mean
8.
Moses?
Moses, no. Look,
Wrong
The other
biblical character.
name.
the other Bible dude, yeah.
I was like, who's
His
the fuck is
brother.
Noah? Canon now, it's his brother.
Was this a Noah? Yeah.
Brilliant. Anyway, I take it you progress up the...
I don't want to go any more up. No, just down. Down's good.
Do we?
Gotta
Are we
go up.
walking from the ship to the city?
Yes.
Do we not have like a moon rover that can come out of the zeppelin?
Not anymore.
No, the wagon was decommissioned a long time ago.
We're 7,000 feet up, not 700,000 feet up. A little bit.
No, we're not 700,000 feet up. That's
Yeah, we don't need a.
We're in space.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when I said moon rover, I meant small vehicle coming out of the larger vehicle, like like when dudes' yachts have yachts.
I think our previous
Hey,
inner vehicle got used to make the ship, right?
Yeah, the engines were refitted into the ship itself.
Wow.
Surprisingly strong for something that used to not be able to fully power moving a cart.
They were upgraded.
Heavily.
Yeah.
It is a testament to
there
your
with the magic.
genius.
We did
Zed.
basically create a perpetual engine, so as long as there's magic.
But no, we do not have a cart anymore. We would need to walk.
Let's
Okay.
walk.
Or ride a horse, you know.
It's nice and brisk. Let's go.
there's passing merchants and carts
Oh,
and other things.
you
right?
recently had a big, like,
Yeah.
crowd of people going, why hasn't a sky thing stopped and attached itself to the road and unloaded, like, 4 gnomes, 3 humans, a cat creature, a halfling, 2 minotaurs, like it.
This is a coin flip whether or not we're an invading force or a traveling circus. Like at this
Yes.
point,
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna settle the dispute there. I'm gonna try and find somebody who has an empty cart and some I guess livestock pulling it that we can possibly hire to bring us the rest of the way to the city.
Okay.
So I'd like to go up onto the side and just see if I can pedal with anybody.
Give me an investigation check. Like to get up, it's like another 20-minute walk. By the way, it's not. You're not that far away from the main road to the city. Yeah, there's a there's the merchant that's like, if some of you can't walk this, they'll allow you to hop on. You have to get in between some of like these. They've got like a lot of like linen and stuff in the back of their cart, so some of you might have to squeeze around some of the product, but it's enough.
Yeah, I
for
was
some of
thinking
you,
maybe
but-
like, definitely Valmir. I guess since he's not used to this altitude, and like the professors and stuff like that, so that they don't have to walk. Kind of like
Mhm.
the people that we're here to care for, or that came with us. Let them ride first.
The flip wheel. No, sorry, flap.
Hmm.
Not
Flap,
flip. Flap.
It's brother.
Flap wheel. The 2 minotaurs are fine. They're like, oh no, we've made this trek many times. Sort of. They're happy to walk. And then the 2 gnome badgeliers will ride their mounts.
I'd like to jump on.
This is a flank escort.
You are not. You would like to jump on what?
The wagon.
Okay, the
cart?
wagon. I thought you meant the badgers.
Badger.
I was gonna say you're both considered medium creatures. That's gonna end. It's like you stepping on another human.
And because this has been presented, we're in Atria. There's not horses here. So what's pulling this cart, Midge?
So it's a They're called blowhorns?
Which dinosaur should we picture?
Zedaar is not here to explain it, but darn right, you're gonna
Um,
explain it to us when it's pulling this this person's card.
Or is it just up to us?
It's
individually.
so it's the it's the para, what's it called? The Parasaurolophus, the one that has like the singular horn that they found out is connected to its nose, and they could use it to blow air to communicate through it.
I know what you're talking about. Just you saying that, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with the handle on the back.
The thing that kind of looks like the tauntaun with a handle.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's got 3 of those. It's a pretty big, like, it's like a couple of wagons cart sort of thing with a sort of with an axle. And they're like at the front, you know. Yeah, welcome to the session where Midge just makes dinosaur noises.
It was gonna happen eventually.
It was a long time. It's a long time coming.
I mean, he did it for the Trihorn that we had.
It's true.
How could you forget Darcy?
Look, I'm bad with names. I couldn't get Darius out of my head. I was like, no, Darius was not the name of the dinosaur.
Oh, by the way, I dropped the map of the city in the handouts last week. So you guys do have that.
Which road, I guess, would we be coming in from?
There is only one road in, which is the one to the east. The other road, is what heads up into the mountain, and then the other roads that you see going towards the rock faces normally lead to caves in which a lot of the mushroom farms are in.
Cool. So we're going to be entering through Winter Way, is what it looks like?
Yes.
All right.
Named because in the winter the snow gets very heavy here, and therefore the whole city sometimes gets tough.
Fascinating, isn't it? How far we've been along, places we've seen so far.
The fact that we are quite literally on the other side of the world, I never thought I'd quite go this far, no.
Siraj, how you doing?
Much better. The floor is cold here.
Oh,
Yeah.
It hurts my little toe beans.
you gotta get socks.
Wait, you still have my boots of levitation, so you could just wear those.
I thought I was only using them to paint the ship, and I believe I've given them back to you.
Sure, I don't have a attunement slot, so you can keep holding on to them for a little bit longer if you like.
Does that mean does that mean the deckhand that was using them to paint has just been joyriding in them this whole time? He just never took it back from him.
They're his now.
Kind of hard to steal them, what with them being neon pink.
Yeah, but once he starts going up, he doesn't have to come back.
Only
We'll make you some mittens.
Kitten mittens.
Kitten mittens.
Damn it.
She will look Darius right in the eye. I have no regrets.
This place is
You died. You should have some regrets, just logically.
None. I went out as I lived. Making bad jokes and raving like a lunatic.
I was gonna say dusty, but sure, that works too.
I hate to point this out because this goes against the laws of nature, but why do these cold-blooded creatures live in this high mountaintop place where it is not very warm?
That's actually a very good scientific point.
Are we
Magic!
Midge is a proponent of the fact that they're not cold-blooded.
Yeah. I'm a warm blood theory guy.
Maybe they were birds. Maybe they actually weren't cold-blooded. You don't know.
I don't
This
know.
current scientific research believes that dinosaurs were actually neither cold-blooded nor warm-blooded. They were neither.
They were
had
like
no
a
blood
lukewarm.
at all.
Tepid
they're-
blood.
Well, considering that in this world they are connected to dragons who can some of whom can produce their own fire, Or some of them are, cold dragons, for example. It's not it's less hurt,
Listen, just don't
Theory
ask
needs
about it.
warming up,
I
so
mean-
we'll leave it for now.
I want realism.
Don't
in
peel
my-
back that curtain.
Do they all
There's
just
caves.
have like warming plugs like diesel engines? Do all the dragons just have little warming plugs to keep them warm during the day?
The tauntaun in his handle.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
if you head into the city, you'll find out.
Yeah, we're trying, man.
We should stay
There's
right
questions to
here.
think about.
We should stay right here and continue to pester Midge about his world.
Oh, I didn't write this area. I didn't write this
Next time
area.
we go piss off
You're
Mikey
right.
because this
Everybody,
is all
point
this.
in here.
let's just all point fingers at Mikey. Mikey, why aren't you here to answer these questions?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Look, no, it's actually already been thought of. You just need to go in and find out. So anyway,
I
you
grab
progress
the
up.
tauntaun by the handle and we go.
You up? Yeah, okay. You progress up the winter road, and eventually, because you had already circled the city, you see the large walls of the city appear ahead of you. It's Tagora is. Its walls are like. This city is a fortress. It is like each wall is like sectioned with multiple towers like built into that classic. Those of you who are familiar with like classic structure and architecture, this is like you are looking at the walls of Rome, kind of. They're like like monolithic of the ancient world, like walls of Troy, as in this place looks devastatingly impenetrable. It's even more so when you notice things such as other of these large lizard-like creatures like patrolling the wall. Like there's you can see the outlines of creatures such as what Darcy was, like pulling siege equipment and stuff along the wall and move, and like there's almost like it's a big enough that also multiple of them can pass like from atop the wall, and you can see it in the distance. But coming towards you is a group of what look to be knights or
Dragon Knights.
guards
Centurions.
of the group,
Legionaries.
riding these more ferocious looking mounts.
They ride.
Stand on
They
high
riding
kindness.
raptors.
Riding raptors.
And they seem to be larger and have a pair of these knights on them. And they come towards you, but in front of them is also like so they've got like 4 or 5 of these larger, if I was to put it into say dinosaur terms, like Allosaurus sized creatures. With a couple of riders each on them, one who seems to be like the controller, one who seems to be like they seem to have like two like baskets either side of javelins, or like pilum, and then there's a group in front, one of whom looks to be a dragonkin of some sort. You can't quite see because of the helmet what they are, but of like a silvery scaled texture. And like this banded male, they've got like a cloak over one shoulder. It seems to be approaching you at the head of this group of. There's probably 4 of these large creatures with 2 riders each, and then there's like a group of say 10 dismounted individuals leading this towards
Are there
you.
weapons drawn?
Weapons aren't drawn, but there's like 3 of them with like banners kind of thing. It looks like this has been a somewhat official group has been sent to, seeing that you guys landed and weren't like, they've assumed that this is some sort of, they need to go investigate this in an official manner. They're not it's not like they're disarmed in case it is something deadly, but because you guys landed and didn't go into like an attack formation, they're going like, okay, this seems like we need to send something, official. It's like it's a welcoming party. Put it this way.
Does anybody here speak Draconic?
We've gone over this.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. They should
do
probably
you.
translate. No, she doesn't.
But you're Ruby right now.
Ruby doesn't know Draconic.
I thought everyone knew Draconic.
Nope.
Ruby
knows
was
Primordial.
Ruby was the one who didn't.
Huh.
In the original group, I believe.
In the original group, and attrition has brought it down to a very few number. Still do.
Yeah.
Nope. She knows Primordial. A couple others, but not that one.
So who is going to do
Fiona.
the speaking?
Not me.
I got this.
I'll take over. Just seeing like the almost passed out. Hail and well met. Just wave.
Are you
my
speaking
hands.
Draconic? At them?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Again, very the very heavy kobold accent apparently. I just realized the implications of the society is the fact that like we don't ride apes around. So given the fact that they derive from dragons, but then also the dinosaurs derive from dragons, that's pretty fucked up.
That you know of.
Horses are mammals. Humans are mammals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a. That's
But if dragons
so
evolved from
far.
dinosaurs, why are there still dinosaurs?
Oh my
Further
God.
divide. Moving on.
There's magic in this world, so let's stop trying to figure out the
doesn't matter.
biology.
Let's not forget. And this is a reminder. Apparently, in this world, the sun rises in the west. Like the standards don't fit. There's excuses for everything. Let's just move
That's
on.
orbital mechanics. That happens. that can happen. Yeah. So hello.
Ave.
Salve. Greetings. State your business.
Oh God, what are we here for? Well, we have a delegation looking
I
to.
want to visit the university.
We want to visit the university. We've brought a delegation from afar. They're about.
From Badum.
From Badum. God, I hate that so much.
Darius, why don't you just present the professor so they can introduce themselves?
Yeah, well, I'm trying. Just hoping they come forward. And I'm hoping they also speak Draconic.
I would assume so. They've been here a few times.
Hopefully.
Would have been very poor choices with us if they didn't.
You all speak Draconic, right? Looking towards the.
Which one are you looking to?
I thought you said all of the professors.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
so
Came with us.
Flap, but all the professors speak Draconic. Actually, yes.
Oh, thank God.
So does the Colonel.
Oh. Well, that's good too. So we've got a smattering we can spread across if we split the party 4 or 5 times.
I'm assuming they
Yes.
would have told you that before, but they introduced themselves as like, but
I think I've spoken to one of them.
Flap dismounts from the wagon, moves up and says, "Hi, I'm Professor Flap Appleshield, and I'm here on behalf of the university at Benundum. We have a visitation at the great library, and these kind folk here are part of our group. They're also doing some research for some. This is an intercontinental delegation here, and we have business in this.
Also commerce. We're here we trade and other mercantile interests for our company.
Maybe
This
say
is a
who we are.
guild-sanctioned skyship from the Skyfire Adventuring Company. And
Do we
Sky
have
Sponge accounts.
identification documents that we can present?
Of course we do.
Okay, are they in Draconic?
Probably not, but Zep
Okay.
will show the ID docs that we do have.
They'll find someone to translate.
I imagine that there's a certain seal or something on it that most might recognize.
You'd hope so.
The armored dragonkin takes off what appears to be her helmet, and says, "I was switched to common because it seems you are struggling and did not expect to be met with such a group. My name is Commander Ambrosia of the Legion of the Justice Maker. If
I have
Well,
hiccups, I'm sorry.
pale and well mounted.
Salve indeed. If you are here to visit the university under correct delegation, you may do so. If you are wishing to make trade, you will need to head to the Spirelands Guild Hall and make the application there. You're welcome to our city, and please be on your way.
Oh, is the green inside of the city just off limits to landing? Because we do have a ship that is currently just precariously roped to the side of a cliff.
That would not be something of my decision, but it could be arranged. There are other landing sites within the city, as you know. We are partially... some of us fly. The full-bloods, for example, they have their forms in which they can fly, so there are multiple places to land.
Did not know that, actually. That's...
I'm surprised none of us actually thought of that.
Well, we coming in unannounced. We probably shouldn't have just flown over what is
To be
clearly
fair.
an incredibly well defended city. That
Yeah.
I feel like we took the wiser choice.
And to be fair, we only traveled with somebody from this city and society for the better part of a year, so of course we wouldn't know anything about it.
Was it
Anywhere we could get permission for the ship to dock would be fine.
I expect that either the guild hall will suffice, or you could make an appeal directly to the Senate.
Can we go inside? I'm very cold here.
Absolutely. Would you like a blanket?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
She nods, and one of the other armored individuals goes up to the side of one of the large mounts, opens a side saddlebag and gets out essentially multiple rolls of what looks to be furs.
How do they get the furs if they don't have? If they're
What?
just using dinosaurs.
Just
trade.
Well, I
Trade.
don't know if a
trade.
furry creature feels comfortable wearing a furry. I guess people wear leather. It's fine. Okay.
Yeah, you're surrounded by a party that mostly wearing leather.
Let's not overthink that.
And
Wears
fantasy.
furs
We
equal
But
all
to
wear
wearing
leather.
leather.
she gets handed them and then starts handing to anyone who wants them. And she goes to you, Zedaar, and goes, I can see your concern. They are a cotton blend.
Ah. Wow. This is very warm. Is there a place that we can go and speak, perhaps, where the wind does not blow so hard?
The temperature within the walls of the city is better. They are high enough that they block a lot of the crosswind, but also most of the buildings are heated.
Wow.
The fucking Roman, of course they've got underfloor heating.
Can you make fire? And I show her my Zippo.
Oh, no, I am, of colder lineage.
So you make cold.
Right.
That's very cool.
We shall let you go.
So, Commander Ambrosia is a silver dragonborn then?
Yes, they seem to be. Actually, those of you who wish to eye up a load of the individuals, you may do so in terms of see what you're kind of dealing with.
Mm-hmm. What's the roll? Perception.
16.
Can Valmar use
Garrus roll at advantage
second
because
wind?
you're looking at fighters. Like you're assessing. I'll allow you to have advantage because you're assessing tactical stuff.
16 still.
You notice, Darius, that a lot of most of these people seem to be Dragonborn. A couple of the riders, like those with the reins on some of the mounts, seem to be of like somewhat human lineage. There's a lot of human features, but then like say you see one of them, you can see from under their helmets like it's a half human face and then like a half scaled face. And then like there's also one of the mounts that's slightly at the back, instead of having 2 medium like knights, it's got 4 kobolds mounted on it on like a little platform. And then but the majority seems to be Dragonborn, but there are some that seem to be other dragonkin mixes of various colors as well.
Valmar is going to use second wind so he can stop wheezing.
Breathing is a free action until it's not.
I'll just reflavor it. It's first wind, finally able to breathe.
But they stand aside and let you guys go ahead. We will follow behind you. You may lead with your group.
I think my first port of call will be the Guildhall then. See if we can get somewhere to land the ship and begin getting a trade permit.
Colonel turns to you guys and says, I'm gonna get the professor situated in residence and where they'll be staying, and we can meet you at the Grand Library if you do so wish.
Sounds like a good idea.
Zep, could you tell our merchant to pick up some local spices and herbs?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
I think your merchant came with you.
Oh, did he? Is he with us? I didn't.
She.
No, I thought he
Yeah.
was still on the ship.
No, she came.
Yeah,
with, she's part of they came as part of the delegation.
Then Ruby will go to her and specify, can I get some local herbs and spices that you can't find anywhere else?
And we'll see what's going to be done.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Welcome to
Okay.
capital of the Empire of Atria. Right, so Zep, you want to head to like the guild hall.
Yeah, Spylands.
Okay. And is anyone else going with Zep, or the rest of you heading towards like the Great Library?
I'll go with Zep.
Okay. Sure thing.
I'm gonna go with Valmir and Zep as well. And I would like to ask Valmir on the way. Valmir,
Hey.
have you heard anything back yet about your correspondence that you sent?
That's a good question. I know that she's opened the letter. Did I get a response?
No, you did not. But then again, you haven't been situated anywhere.
Not yet, no. I know that she's opened it. I paid for the extra service to know that. But there's been, other than finding somebody with the sending spell, there's really not any way to.
Well, I just
in
meant
touch
more
with
in the
us.
way of did the letter make it there securely?
It did.
That's what I was getting at.
We're 100% sure it made it there securely. It's not like another thing where they can just hover it over some steam and open the envelope without you
paid
knowing. And
for the extra service, so it could only be opened by my mother, and also I would be notified when it was opened. So I know when roughly did that happen? Was that before or after the flame elemental thing fight?
Oh gosh, it was before then. This happened like a week ago now.
Okay.
This was
I imagine
before
I
you
would
left
have said
Korzak.
that, so-
This happened like in the flight over Korzak that you know about.
Okay. I guess we just have to hope that she's done it. Hope that she's accepted my request.
Well, at the very least, we know that the letter made it there and it's been read by the individual it's intended for. I guess we'll just have to wait.
Yeah, basically. I think she will, though. I think my mother isn't an evil person. She'll probably. I mean, I hope so. I don't know.
On what spectrum are we valuing her level of evilness here?
I mean, she's not evil. She's
She's not outright evil, but she is part of a society that associates with some not so kind, benevolent beings, I guess you could say.
I mean, you've got to be you got to have an edge to you if you're going to be the last line of defense between the denizens of the Underdark and the Overworld. So, I mean, she's a bit edgy.
Well, it's good to know that she won't outright maliciously turn this against you.
No, I had a good enough relationship with my mother. She was obviously very busy being the ruler of a city, but we had a good enough relationship. I don't hate her. That's good.
That's certainly a start when it comes to your parents.
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, we gotta start somewhere. How about you? How was your whole home life? Who did you leave behind? And how old are you?
Take a guess.
Is it triple
Looks
digits?
middle-aged. Looks middle-aged. You know, has good amount of color still left to any facial hair or actual hair, with maybe some sparsing of, you know, grays here and there.
I've obviously been like privy to the whole is he or is he not a vampire? So I'm gonna say is it triple digits by chance?
Oh, no. Not yet. I've still got
four digits?
about a decade or so left until that time.
90. Wow, okay.
Just shy.
Not a vampire. He just feels like one.
I mean, he looks like one.
Yes, I've left quite a bit behind, in my journeys.
Any regrets?
Oh, quite a few. There's not much you can live in life without having some regret. I mean, a lot of times you're faced with two choices and, well, one of them you're gonna have to leave behind, right? What if you wanted both?
Just trying to get like the contrast between James and Ruby. The whole having regrets or not.
Yes, I don't understand how one just dies without any regret.
I mean, if it's a good and noble death, I guess, but
Is Ruby there?
Did you?
I
come
believe it was
with-
just Zeb Valmir and James making the walk to the guild hall, unless. anybody
Okay,
else
no,
joined.
no.
Well, I mean, you weren't there for her death, but I don't know if there was much purpose to it.
Well, hopefully you'll find some purpose in it yet. Maybe it just hasn't shown itself.
Well, she's back now, and hopefully she'll remain back for some time. Soul
That's
isn't too big of a fan of me, so the longer Ruby sticks around, the better.
That is an odd occurrence. Has this ever happened before? I mean, I've only been with you all for a short while, and I don't know how long it has been since your friend originally passed, even though they're still here, seems? In some form?
She passed, and then it wasn't too long after that there was this thing happening on top of the deck, some magical sphere, and then out of it, Soul was there. And, well... Oh, she doesn't like me too much. It's weird.
Well,
I don't understand it.
maybe it's the friends you keep. Not your current group, I'm talking about.
I say that the friends I keep are the same friends that she keeps, I guess. This is the same group.
Maybe your otherworldly association?
I suppose. Nothing I can do about that, though.
Not currently. But I believe at some point you will find yourself at a pass where you will have to make a choice.
Sounds like a dangerous line of talk, that.
Well, just know that you do have friends near you that do care enough to ask you and not immediately kick you out and ostracize you just because of your associations. They're willing to work with you. So just remember that.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to me and you recoiled in horror almost at hearing his name, so...
I've faced many things of the night, my friend, so just because it makes me recoil doesn't make me judge the individual.
At least the night is still of this world.
Maybe try being a little bit more honest and open with your friends and believe that they will have your back and not just cast you off like a skipping stone.
It's not the casting off that I'm so worried about. It's the murdered in my sleep bit that is a little bit more worrying to me.
I don't think anybody on this ship currently is capable of killing anybody else in their sleep. I haven't quite seen the gleam in their eyes.
Better safe than sorry.
Again, honesty is usually the better policy, my friend. So whatever else you're holding back might be beneficial to share it with us so that we can all work together.
I mean, right now though, as much as you recoil at the name and as much as it's caused certain negative feelings towards me, I've not had any negative impacts to my life. Hell, my life would have been over if not for his intervention. This relationship I have so far has been only positives. I don't see the evil that the name is inspiring. He does have quite a dark, booming voice that could totally be described as evil, but like You know, you don't judge people for their accents, really. That's silly.
Yes, we try not to judge people where they come from. By the way they look or sound or anything like that. More on the actions that they do.
Well, the action so far has been saving my life and giving me, well, magic. Seems pretty cool to me.
It all comes at a cost, my friend. And just because they're giving you and giving you and giving you, doesn't mean that you're not racking up a tally that you're going to eventually have to pay.
We'll cross or burn down that bridge when we come to it, I guess.
Let's hope it doesn't come at an inopportune time.
Of course. And you never know. There might not even be a price associated with it.
There's always a price, my friend.
We'll see.
Don't worry, Valmir. I still like you. As Braun ruffles your head and walks past.
Oh.
I appreciate that, my friend.
Eventually, you walk to you find your way. The one thing you notice, the streets in this city are super clean, and it is each area of the city is in square block. There isn't many winding tight streets that you're used to in, say, Nardathel or the Rien. It's not enclosed wooden overhang. These are all a lot of these roofs are flat top or use this terracotta sort of roofing tile. The streets are wide and spacious. The houses are all really spaced apart. It seems that there's a big probably a big concern for fire safety, for one thing, but also it is very well planned as a city, and the streets are very well signposted as well. And you eventually are either directed to or find yourself in the what seems to be the more legislative or legal district sort of the room. Was there's a lot bigger buildings, more of these almost mansionettes. That you have also seen what you think is the Great Library over the over the skyline of the city, because it is a towering sort of long academy building with a peaked roof that goes into a circular roof in the center kind of thing, and you can see it essentially anywhere you are in the city. But you come to this 4-story building with a staircase, sort of a stone staircase up to it, that marks the guild hall, and you move through the pillared arches into the building, and in front of you is a big old line of what seem to be clerks of various different guilds at almost different teller desks. There is also an attendant towards the front who, when they see you enter and sees that you are not locals, they...
Hello. Welcome to the guild hall. How may I help you?
We are associates of the Skyspan Adventuring Company and... Skyfire Adventuring Company and Skyspan Shipyards. We would like to acquire 2 things from you. A permission for trade in the city, and a place to land our skyship.
Skyship, that is very unusual, but it might be able to be done as a request for a small fee. If you third desk on the left, if you go talk to Alphonsus Libo, he is the head of parks and services. He will be able to sort you with the permission to land within the city. As for a trader's license, you'll want to go to Icarus Rutilius. Is on the left-hand side under the Traders Guild subsection over there. He's the front desk of that small section.
Okay, Lena, you should probably go and do the trade permit bit, as that is your purview, and we will go and speak to Alphonsus.
Very well, I will do so. She walks off. And you head over to Alphonsus. So it seems to be a bronze dragonborn. He's got like a little like skull cap, and he's got like he's in like blue robes, and he's like looking down at this roll of parchment. He's got a quill.
Is he the dragonborn equivalent of like a friar with the bald head? Is that
No.
what I'm getting here?
He's got a little like
okay.
round hat, like a little, almost like
okay.
a micro fez, like one of those soft fezzes, kind of.
Okay.
Like just, but it's like right between his like rear head spines.
Mm.
So it just sits there, and it's just like kind of like it's like this is his style.
Mm-hmm.
Bahamut's blessings to you.
He looks up, then looks down.
Bahamut, blessings to you too. How may I help you?
I am Captain Zeb Skyspan of the Skyfire, an airship that has recently arrived in the city. We were hoping that we would have a place to dock here.
Interesting. How large is your ship?
I will reel out the specifications that I'm sure Zeb has completely memorized.
Yes, probably in too much detail.
Definitely in too much detail. So the hull is about this large, but if you go out the back of the hull, we have two large engines. These are the exhausts, they will point out the back, but we do have various implements on which to land, so that we can create a ramp up to the dome, etc., etc., etc.
And the purpose of your visit, are you tourists, trader? Like, how much access do you need to the ship once it is parked?
We are here for partially commercial purposes, so having access for carts and the like would be useful.
And are you okay with the ship being publicly visible?
It is a wonder of Lederongland's technology. Part of our purpose here is to advertise such things. Perhaps to encourage commerce with my land in the future.
Well, that is the case. I will have to submit a slightly higher approval, but I'm thinking we can probably get you a position to park in one of the gardens in the senatorial district. It would be big enough. It is publicly accessible, but is also one of the clearer areas of the city.
I appreciate your assistance in this.
There will probably be a small handling fee.
The fees are...
small?
Yeah, what are we talking here?
Hmm. 300 gold talents.
Is a gold talent equal to this? No, sure, a gold piece.
He picks up a little scale, pulls out a gold talon, puts it down, asks you for your gold piece to put it on.
Yes, they are equivalent.
Then this is, I think, acceptable for our purposes. How secure will the vessel be parked here?
Security will be at your responsibility. We will have... It'll be parked in a public park.
but it is in the senatorial district, so I assume it will be under the policing of that district.
Correct. It would not be graffitied on or anything of the sort, but it would be up to you to... It's not going to be committing to maintenance of your...
No. I was more concerned about theft and the like, but it is a very lucrative and reasonable area. I am sure that your service is up to the task.
We will place our own guards and troops around our assets to make sure that they are secured, as long as you keep the outer lying area and environment secure, I guess is what we're making sure of.
Precisely.
A member of the town watch will probably rope off the area once you have landed.
Perfect. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of your glorious city. I've been very impressed so far. Do you have any recommendations in places in particular we should visit?
Yes, please.
The gardens of the senatorial district, and he's saying this while he dips his one of his talons into ink, and then puts a mark on the document he's been writing. And then you see him go, and it kind of it's just you think he's gonna do a proper breath on it, but no, he's just drying it off. The gardens of the senatorial district are quite beautiful. Some of the many temples dotted around the city. If you are free on towards the end of the week, there are the various tours of the senatorial district and buildings and the palaces. Also, you can probably visit the citadel or the castle, or take one of the trips into the fungus mines. Here, have a pamphlet.
I appreciate that. And where can you direct me is the Temple of Bahamut?
Which one? Do you mean...
the cathedral, if you have such an equivalent.
The Grand Temple is also in the senatorial district. You will notice the large platinum statue out of the front. It is across from this great library the great library that you are looking to visit. You go up the stairs, you'll see the giant platinum statue, and then go through the grand archway, and you'll be inside.
Magnificent. Thank you very much.
Most
and I'll
welcome.
also double check that I have 300 gold on me.
I can put up some of the funds. I have about I could give up about 150, I'd say.
I can do the other 150.
If you return here in roughly 3 hours, I will probably have the approval by then. Or if you're going to be at the library, I can have a member of the watch come and get you to say that the permit has been approved, and they will show you to the location of where to land.
We will be at the library. You can find us there.
Quick question. As far as these fees go, can we have them, if you're okay with this, Zep? But you obviously have import-export rates and stuff like that, right? That, kind of go into the goods and whatnot. Would we be able to just add that into the total bill before we end up having to leave? Kind of? Or does this have to be something that's paid up front?
I need this now to make sure everything goes through okay.
Very well.
And Lena's taking care of the permits.
Sure.
Yeah, he seems pretty reasonable. I got an 11.
Yeah. He does seem pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I'll hand over the 150 that I've got.
And Zep will do the same.
Lovely. Jumping back to the other group. You guys are heading to the Grand Temple right away, yes?
Are we bringing the scholar people with us, or are they finding lodgings?
They were looking to set themselves up in lodgings at the Grand Temple. There are quite a few commonly associated like lodging houses, inns and taverns in that district that normally, if people are like staying and studying at the Great Library for a long time, that they tend to stay in. They were like automatically going to head there, but if you are looking to keep them on your ship, for example, you can do so, but they were kind of under the assumption that you guys were giving them transit here, not anything more.
Oh yeah, of course. I was just kind of wondering if they're with us.
They're probably walking most of the way with you, if you wanted to talk to them.
Well, I'm not very good at reading books, but this is a very pretty city. I want to check out the big building. You have been here before, yes?
Who are you directing that at? Which
The
of them?
Minotaurs and Flap Apple Shield.
Yeah. Apple Shield is well, yeah, I have been there. I've been here multiple times, both for research and study, and
Agreed, same. It has been many years since I've been here.
and then the other Minotaur is
Actually, it's my first time.
but so varying amounts.
Is there a perhaps a renowned weapons smith or maker in this town that is of such high repute that you would know of them?
It's not really my area of interest. I'm sorry. If you're looking for an elite bookbinder, I do know a place, but
They missed the joke. They could have said, well, a good book's the best weapon. Just went to the library.
Knowledge is power. Oh no. That's excellent. Wonderful. I'm
Are you
just gonna
wanting
be
a weapon, Ziraj, still? You need a bow?
Yeah. But we can go into the book. You know, the books, they smell good. Don't really know what they always say,
You
but
can... Actually, do any of us... Can Ziraj read?
Wow. Rude.
Not rude. Not trying to be rude. I'm out of character. Has that ever been established?
I can read, but I am not. It's not my strong suit.
It's not a strong suit. Okay. Okay.
I communicate in Thieves' Cant, which is like a bunch of symbols and stuff. I'm writing in like wingdings when I write like little like notes to you guys, like don't forget to pick up, you know, more.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
You write it out as wingdings, but it sounds like old, like 40s and 50s slang.
Yes, right.
Perfect.
modern speak.
No,
but,
that's cool. I worry that all of the books here are going to be in that language that you guys all talk, and I don't.
Oh. Yeah, I could see why that'd be boring.
It's okay. We'll
If you
see.
want to go and get a bow, I'll accompany you. I have quite literally nothing to do here either. Now that
You don't you read the language?
I'm proficient in it. I don't need, and it's the books. Like, I'll leave Claudia. She'll learn another 2 languages or something, and we'll just.
I forgot she was like a little genius. No, you know what? I think it's
just with
best if we
languages.
don't.
She's
I
pretty
think
average.
this place seems very like Big Brother is watching. I feel like I'm being micromanaged through every step of every process. There's a lot of red tape everywhere. So we should just say we should do what we said we were here to do.
Okay. This isn't you setting up for just leaving in the middle of it and dropping the rest of the party, right?
No, I would never do this again.
All right. I will take you at your word. again.
All right, well, I continue on our. I'm with all the I'm with all the smarty pants, right? Like we have Ruby and Breton, and not that you guys aren't smarty pants, but
Smarty Pants. The one person in this group that Smarty Pants applies to is Zep, and he's with us. So no, this is the intelligent part of the party.
Zep is like a freaking scary genius. I just need people who can read. I feel confident. I feel like the idiot that you guys brought to the library, but it's good.
You're not.
Everyone can read.
Don't. What is Siraj's intelligence score? She's not an idiot.
You know.
The fact that
Actually, it's a 12.
Yeah, you're fine.
you're just
above
as
average.
intelligent as me.
Yeah.
You were
No, you're
baseline with the
more
rest of your
intelligent
group.
than me.
Yeah.
Street smarts, baby. Street smarts. Anyways, okay.
Yeah. If we need to find like good street food, Siraj knows how to find it.
Yeah, getting
It's-
through the city would probably be
You-
your forte.
Those of you who
Except
are
that
walking,
my flaw is that I hate cities.
But you got that
they're
cab
your
driver mind.
favorite
What's your
terrain.
favorite terrain? How is that your?
Because I hate being in them, because I grew up in them, and that's what turned me into a ranger, because I went out into the wilderness. So I know that I'm good in them, but I hate being in them.
Too noisy.
Yes.
Too many. Getting your tail stepped on
As-
too many times.
That
As
is
you
hilarious.
guys, they're actually very good about that here because there's quite a lot of tailed creatures. So they're
They're
people are
very
like,
courteous about the tail.
yeah, there's a lot of like
They
street
practice
etiquette.
social distancing.
It's not, yeah. They're very distanced. Like they see that there's a lot of polite sort of moving aside, and it's actually at this point you see that at this point you're walking down one of the main streets, it seems, and above you you hear a as you see like 3 dragons fly overhead and are heading to the central sort of district of the city.
Real dragons? Like,
Yeah.
What's the reaction of the rest of the street?
No one kind of reacts. But one person kind of looks up and goes and kind of keeps walking, but nobody else is really.
Bird flying by.
Right, I think that's normal for here.
does it look anything like the void creature that blasted my brains out?
No. This is in fact these are sort of like it was a oh gosh, I'm sorry, I've lost my computer mouse. Technical difficulties. Looked to be like a group of 3 silver dragons.
Did Soul meet Zedaar? Obviously, Breton didn't meet Zedaar.
Breton did meet Zedaar very briefly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
2-day
Yeah,
trade
remember you
off.
having to dual wield character.
Oh, yeah.
There
Well-
was a very brief time where both Zedaar and Breton were there for the council
weeks.
against Ruby's father.
What?
Yes.
Yes, both of them were involved in the Ruby death fight. Yeah,
Breton was there for that. Yes,
Breton and
Mhm.
Zedaar were both there for that.
Mm-hmm.
it was a very
He's-
emotional scene from Breton when she died.
Yeah.
But this isn't where Zedaar is, right? He went to go be with,
Yes,
Still in
Zedaar. At this point, Zedaar's probably traveling from the capital of the Nardathel to.
He's at Lake
Lake
Land
Greensland.
now. That was.
Oh, he's
confirmed.
actually arrived at Lake Greensland, so yes.
I do need to send you something from Zedaar, the Zedaar knowledge. I need to convey that
Okay.
at some point. We'll do that off camera. Because most of it has already been sort of revealed anyway.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll get that to you soon. Okay. Yes. But eventually you enter this enormous open square that is flanked by all sorts of palatial and huge, like honestly architectural masterpiece buildings. One of which looks to be this grand sort of academy building, which is like, it seems to be multiple floors. It's like there is an entire flank, like the entire flank of the building is just a staircase up to this like sort of cobblestone plateau with multiple statues and sort of fountains and people talking to each other, discussing. There seems to be like a couple of people on like podiums talking to crowds, and then at this side of this building, like the fascias, is like there's all sorts of statues that each sort of level up as well into these pitted roofs. And then the center of this building, kind of like the White House in shape, is kind of like circular. So it's like two like long like buildings to the side with a central sort of circular building. But the roofing is more that of the, oh gosh, what's the Roman temple in Rome that's now a Christian church with the rounded roof with the hole in the middle?
Peter's Basilica, isn't it?
Not St. Peter's Basilica. I'm thinking of a different. It's the.
St. Paul's.
Oh gosh, I could.
You round temple Hagia Sophia?
That's in Istanbul.
Well, how about the Pantheon, isn't it?
It's the Pantheon. There, that's what I'm thinking of. The Pantheon.
Of all the buildings you
Of
could
the
have
Parthenon.
guessed, that's the one that I would have been like, yeah, no, it's definitely not that one. That's why I'm not suggesting it.
Do you mean?
Well, I've been to Rome, so
Yeah. No, it's the Pantheon in Rome.
I've been to the
It's in Rome.
Wait, the building with the big open roof? You mean the Colosseum?
Yeah, it is circular. Fair enough.
I mean, there is a Colosseum Hippodrome complex here. But no, it is the Pantheon I'm thinking of. Because it has that domed roof with the hole in the middle to let the light through. Yeah, it's like that sort of shaped roof in the center. And the professors turn to you guys and go, well, because I guess we're gonna head down that street there and try to find ourselves some accommodation. But that's the Great Library.
Ruby will look to Breton.
That's what we're looking at. If memory serves, most of the information here is passed down orally, spoken tradition rather than written one. So this could be, well, I hate to say this information could be hit or miss at best based on memory, but hopefully this is worth the trip.
A lot of the education here is done orally and passed, but they do have a lot of ancient texts and scrolls as well.
I was also going to say, I have an idea if it turns out to be a goose chase or something. We go find someone who was around that time. Perhaps, say, a dragon.
This would be one of the places to look that we are not on ill speaking terms with. If anybody lives as long as elves, it tends to be dragons. And if we handling the ancient texts ourselves, that's a request I'm not going to make. But if you had any officials who would be able to handle and displace text for us to intake, as it were, just a professional who can handle it and give us the information without us doing it personally.
I will see what I can do. Also, once I get to the library myself, I'm going to see if any of the other guests for our meeting have arrived as of yet, or what their current estimated time of arrival.
Of course.
I also point out that Ruby has changed out of Soul's clothes, and though she is still wearing the breastplate and it looks a little awkward, she's wearing her red coat over the top of it. Back to her normal clothes.
She's going to have like a different wardrobe in each of her rooms.
She needs a transmogrifier. A glamour kiki.
It's like no, it's like there's power. It's like God, this is gonna be I don't know if this is gonna be too British a reference. Actually, no, I think that was available in America. No, like the Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
You know their elevators where it's got like their pictures next to it, and they step in and it puts on that, but it's just the different versions of Soul / Ruby. She just goes into it, and like the door comes up, she comes down, and she's in the correct clothing. You know.
I was picturing. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Fairy Tale, but one of the characters in that uses magic that changes their armor and equipment. It's like just invent that magic so you can just change the armor you're wearing on a whim.
Yeah, it's called Word of Recall, and I don't get that.
actually.
It's not car. It's not word of recall. That's teleportation.
That's the teleport. That's the teleport one. There is.
there's a
There is.
wall
So
of
it's basically
information
it's called.
we can do
I think in the series it's called requip magic.
Yeah, that's requip. Yeah, that's yeah.
She's also done by a very attractive redhead, so there might
Yes.
be something to that.
There's a
Midge,
There's a
Midge, can
Scarlet.
I get that without giving up one of my valuable spell slots?
We'll see.
Hey.
Um.
Also, she can go. It's morphing time.
yeah. It's basically the
Oh god.
it's
Or
basically
an anime-
the hexblade equivalent of swapping the weapon out.
Yeah.
Anime montage
except-
when he goes into Sailor Moon outfit.
that will do exactly that already.
Yes, there is.
Can't remember what it's called. Like armor of no, I don't know.
No, Armor
Something like
Agathis is the frosting armor spell. Anyway.
Yes.
I digress. So, do you wish to enter the building? Where are you heading? Kind of group, literary.
Let's go.
Yes.
Do you think
What
that'd
do
be
you want to
okay?
start with? Do we
Oh.
want to focus on the Chronicles first, or do we want to focus on something else?
I was gonna make sure. Are they going to be before they? I think the two scholars left. Will you two be all right unescorted? You've got your own.
They've got their guards with them.
We've got their own escort.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
They're being protected by Colonel Pickett.
Any of the two
Think it.
let's start with the big threats first, I guess. The known knowns. The unknown knowns.
Gnomes?
Well, there are known knowns, there are unknown knowns, there are known unknowns, and there are unknown unknowns. Which do we start
All right,
with?
we should stop.
You're not there.
Stop quoting Donald Rumsfeld. Why don't we just go in and
I
see
am
what we
here.
can find?
I thought you and Zedaar were going. Zedaar are going shopping.
No,
Oh,
it's
you
right,
decided.
so-
Okay,
Nope,
you
I
guys
decided
yesterday.
to be
Okay.
useless at a library, but I will try to be helpful.
Steal the books.
No,
Don't do
I
that.
want that at all.
No,
That
no,
sounds like-
no.
Oh, you draw a line at stealing books.
Knowledge is to be shared with everyone for free.
We are traveling around the world. We could literally spread the knowledge to other.
Stop it.
Stop.
Stop influencing it. You're not here.
You're not there, and you're not good.
Yeah.
But Zedaar did teach me to love Bahamut.
So I feel like if we're going to focus on the big threats first, why don't we start with any accounts that Bahamut may have passed down about the first days?
Hopefully they're not apocryphal.
It's hard to say with religious texts, but if these are as ancient as they are, they may be direct words and edicts from Bahamut himself.
And assuming we have access.
That's why I was asking about the transcribing.
Let's go find out. One way to find out is to go. So let's go.
Is there a
Presumably it's also going to be
librarian?
written. Presumably it's also going to be written in Draconic, and Fred is going to look at the three people here. I don't think any of us read Draconic.
No, but I'm really a people person if there is a librarian.
Darius reads Draconic.
But Darius is Darius with us, or is Darius? Where is Darius?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry. I had to step away for like 30 minutes. I apologize. All right. Then we have somebody who can read. But as I said, finding somebody who can get us permission to read the text seems like the smartest start with this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realize I was the only one of this group that could.
You are.
But, oh,
We're gonna bring you snacks and water, and we're gonna fan you with palm fronds while you read.
This came up last week. Breton also does not speak Draconic.
my. Why was this?
But
the way
Claudia,
provided?
Claudia's with us, and she speaks like 15 languages. So
Yeah.
we put the Reynards on the case.
God damn it. All right, I guess we're intellectuals now.
I don't know what you mean, Darius. We, if you compare us to, the rest of our family, have been the intellectuals for quite a while.
Okay, good. I'm glad you included me in there because I saw the brain turn in there for a second.
No, I don't know what you mean.
All right. Okay. So We have no leads on who to ask. No leads on where to look. I guess we'll look for a librarian. I'll look for somebody who looks. I'll look for somebody that's like a librarian.
So you're heading into the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go in.
Give me a just
if we're
quick
not
perception
stopped in the
check.
door.
Perception check.
Sure. Perception check. Perception. Yeah, perception. For some reason, I thought I had advantage on that. I don't think I do anymore.
Your sentinel shield would have given it to you.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, and I'm
anymore.
not using it anymore.
As you walk past,
20.
As you walk past the various like groups of like stump speech individuals, there's one person that seems to be dictating news to people. As a relatively large crowd around that is speaking. There's news of a grand clash between the Eladrin Empire and the Rhiannian forces in the Cullis Marshlands has reached the word of our fair people. It seems those of Fey and human blood are clashing once again, and the death toll is great. As normal with this kind of conflict, it is yet to be determined if the battle was sided in one favor or another.
Is this in common or draconic?
This is Draconic, that's why Darius rolled.
Yeah. The Marshlands, is that near like Castle Cullis? And...
Castle Cullis is the capital of the Cullis Marshland region.
Okay. Where was my siblings at when like we last saw them? Were they near there?
There was a rear camp a few days away from that. It was the main Darius, like the main Reynard foothold for that region.
Yeah, your family's on the front lines.
Yeah. Damn it.
At least some of it was.
Some of it was. I'm going to inquire. I'm going to go up to the. This is a town crier. They have no other specific information, but
You
I think
see,
we can try
yeah,
it.
this is seems to be like a purplish colored, like dragonborn with like sort of what seems to be like traditional robe garb, like toga-like, but then like a furish cloak on top, and they've got like this like singular sort of like tree branch sort of leaf like draped over one side of their like their head.
I'll wait for a break in the calling and say, excuse me, about go back like to there. Do you have any more specific information on the clash in the Cullis Marshlands? Anything that could be shared?
Only that there was a series of smaller skirmishes that took place outside into the variable no man's land that is the True Marsh. And then a larger formationed battle happened. Apparently several mages were involved, and the loss of life was great on both sides.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And I'll toss a gold piece to them.
I can retire now.
No. He picks it up and hands it back to you, and says, "No. Knowledge is free here."
All right. I'll look back at Suraj for a second. God damn it.
I'll take it. If that guy won't see I was right.
You
I don't speak
didn't
Draconic. I don't know what he said. Yeah. All right. Can I insight check to see if I understood that Darius tried to give this guy money and then this guy didn't want it, so now I may be the person to take this 1 gold piece, thereby increasing my amount of total gold owned by 1. Oh. I didn't catch that.
No,
Claudia likes you. You could probably get advantage.
Yeah, no,
That's fine.
even with a 12, I think that was kind of obvious that this person returned a large gold. Because gold pieces are like that.
You're rolling insight for that? Like, are you trying to understand the philosophical problems that come about with this? Or?
Well, I don't understand the language, so I'm trying to by body language, like was he like scoffing at it, like pshaw, good sir, take your shitty gold coin.
A single gold piece.
Yeah. Or was he like, knowledge is power and we should all share it for free?
You won't
It
catch
doesn't
me
matter.
getting out of bed for less than a platinum.
Yeah.
It's a currency divide. It's like handing somebody a $2 bill in Japan, and it's like, what is this paper?
doesn't
I don't
exist.
understand. It's just throwing it away.
To be fair, you do that in the United States, but you've got a pretty good chance of some of the cashier just going like, "This isn't real."
That's why I was like, it's the further divide. It's not only cultural, but it's like also across boundaries.
Take it. I just give it to Siraj. It's a gold piece. Yeah.
Very much.
Take it. Probably gonna be having to help you finance your bow at some point.
Well, no. If you would let me steal it.
I was about to say, Siraj is going for that 5-finger discount.
I'm not. I made a promise.
See, the way I see it, knowledge is power, and what is a
Power
bow
is free.
if not, kinetic and potential energy, which is power. So it's basically the same thing. You're just firing knowledge.
Is the door to the library
Let's go.
open, or is it like a big heavy?
It's not a door. It's like an opening. It's like, probably like 20 foot wide, 20 foot up archway. Inside of it is like the stone is carved into like a dragon, like 2 dragon's claws, like up to the apex of the archway, and the archway is like holding like a scroll that rolls down slightly, and in that scroll hand is like a little flag, like waving.
Would you say the door is dragon-sized?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Forward. Just found out my family might be dead. Let's go.
Do you share that with us?
Nope. Nope.
Are you sure? Because that seemed like a very in-character thing for Darius to say. Just a declaration of like, this is how things are. Let's just continue.
Let's continue. We live.
Family's huge. Like, you can stand to lose a few. It's fine.
Reynard has never
Still.
fallen in combat.
Yep.
None of them ever.
Nope. Old age and accidents. It's been or assassinations possibly.
As large as that organization is, I find that statistically improbable. But sure, okay, that's fine.
You've only encountered Darius, who is a very upstanding, honorable person, for one. So
So true.
yeah, so you don't really have the full breadth of the organization. What do we see inside, Midge? Do we see a librarian or a help desk or something?
There's
that we
so
can
many
to?
like what seem to be like official acolytes of the library walking around, like robed individuals helping others, but there's also a lot of other people there. There's also it's a very big open space, and in the center is also this what looks to be a map of the plains. And
It's interesting.
it's like a large map of the plains be held in a giant platinum claw.
Getting a sense of a motif that runs through this place pretty much to the bone.
He's got the whole world in his claw.
Yeah. I'll wave down the nearest acolyte we can find.
Sure.
Whoever's closest to us and doesn't look like they're running somewhere.
A sort of youngish red dragonborn walks over.
We need help with finding
You
some
speaking Draconic?
information. Yes, I'm starting with Draconic. Do you speak Common? Okay, how good do you speak Common?
Pretty well, actually.
Great, okay, it's good. My Draconic is rusty.
Yes, you've got a little bit of the hint of Coldbolt.
I've heard it, yes, I know. all right.
At least you don't speak Kobold itself. That is a terrible, terrible tongue to listen to.
Does Claudia speak Kobold?
I don't remember. Do you remember the full list of languages I gave you?
I don't have it in front of me, no.
Okay.
I'll have to
Don't think she does.
No, I don't think so either. A couple of words.
Very interesting language, though, as it is one that both speakers of Draconic can naturally understand, but also a lot of speakers of Common can naturally understand.
Interesting.
That's curious.
Fun piece of history on that. We used to use them back in the old days as a way of translating between Common speaking communities.
We need help.
Cool. All right. So we are looking for these books. Perhaps you have some sort of ancient history about the end of the world section.
Who are you all? Do I need to get a supervisor?
Yes, I think
of
you
the Renard
should.
Company. We're here on a diplomatic envoy mission. We're here to just do some research while we wait to transport the envoy back to Num Dum.
This is Ruby. She's a royalty, and we should speak to a supervisor. I believe that someone above your rank would suit us better here. And I try to look very official when I say that.
One
Right in the
moment,
face, Holmes.
please.
No,
I will return in a moment.
supervisors have ways of checking these things.
Ruby's royalty.
Ruby's also officially dead.
Well, we're all officially going to be dead if we don't figure out this,
And her-
this menace.
I think her father had his title stripped from him as a
Yes.
traitor.
Yeah, but not me.
Traitor.
No,
Yeah.
it was given to they're currently being regented.
Ruby was very publicly and well-known disintegrated in the fight with her
In
father.
front of the king of her land, yes.
Yeah, that's just
And
Oh,
she'll
I
look
mean-
Darius. She will then look at Darius. I got better.
not legally.
I couldn't.
Legally, you're still dead.
We need the restricted section of the library, and we're not going to get it with, Acolyte A, first-year homework student.
This means
We
I've not paid
might.
taxes though.
An
Is Ruby
individual.
royalty or nobility?
After about 5 minutes or so, the acolyte
Nobility, not
returns.
royalty.
The acolyte returns with what seems at first to be a human. They're quite tall, olive skin, blonde hair. Their eyes are piercing gold.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Anrayne Sunderstar. I am a part of the Skyfire Venturing Company. She will gesture to the folks around her. And we are...
I bow.
We don't do that here. I am all memes. We are attempting to research a particular threat that has arisen and is causing problems across both Solarum and Longreach.
I am. I just had that open. 2 seconds. I am Procopius of.
Procopius?
Procopius, yes. Of House.
Uh-oh. Am I lagging or is he going robot?
Am I going?
You're right.
Oh, man.
No, you're fine.
No, I think that's her.
Of House Nectarida. I am the Grand Master of this library.
And yet we lost it.
We're having some small technical difficulties. I'm going to wait until everybody says they're back. And I'll go from
Yeah.
there.
Is that
Are we
is
back?
that not just me?
No,
no,
that
I
was
think it was-
everybody.
I
It was
think it was
everybody.
Discord.
It was
Oh,
full
okay.
on Discord.
I did have it
We're all
earlier,
back
so
now.
maybe I'm
Yeah,
okay
we
with
are. I
it.
was just like, I'm gonna wait for a moment for everybody to come back. But yes,
I thought a tractor had hit my.
I thought it was
Oh,
just
what?
because I was trying to find information. me and Mordred's still here. was
No, I heard Procopius was the name, and that's when I lost it.
Procopius of House Nectarida. So I can spell those out. Procopius is Procopius. Last name is of House Nectarida.
Is that a House of Naudathel or
No, it's
local here?
a House Atria.
Are you a dragon?
Perhaps.
That's very cool.
Is it a secret or not something we should know? It seems we saw 3 flying above our heads not 20 minutes ago.
I am of what you would call a dragon. Yes.
You are very handsome.
Thank you.
How fortuitous. Our questions involve dragons.
I am not a junior member of my house, but I will do what I can to help you. You say you are dignitaries of various locations.
We are escorting dignitaries from Benumdum, but we come from all across the world, mostly nations of long reach.
Interesting. Well, I shall endeavor to help you as much as I can. Is there something specific you were looking for? He also turns and goes, "You can go now, Titus. Thank you for your help."
Yes,
bye.
but perhaps we should start with local news.
Local.
Has Atria suffered from any dragon attacks of the hostile kind?
Of not non-natives, non-citizens.
Non-native dragon attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, it could just be a guy on a bender. Just
Outside of the political instability, we haven't been attacked. I assume you mean in reference to those atrocious terrorist actions that seem to be happening where you're from. I can assure you they are not of Atrian source.
Not what I was implying. No.
And not just where we're from.
No, it's been also Solorum has been attacked as well.
In fact, Atria is one of the few countries so far that hasn't been.
But the dragon comes through a portal
I was getting
in
to
the
that.
sky.
Yeah, we were getting to that one. He's rolling
Okay.
dice.
I failed my deception check. The individual flicks to you for that, and there is a face of you said what, and then kind of remembers where he is, kind of thing.
To what?
To the dragon coming through a portal thing.
We were coming to that, yes. We were attacked specifically in a few places in Longreach by dragons. There have been other places attacked more recently, like Lagran's Land. But Kozak and the nation to the south of it, whose name I forget off the top of my head right now, the Theocracy.
The Vestalian Theocracy.
Vestalian Theocracy was also devastatingly attacked. I think it was the first place that was attacked when all of this went out.
Yes, emissaries from the Theocracy came with very charged statements towards us. We have sent various delegations. In fact, my older brother is there now investigating.
And on our way here, she will look to Breton as if, should I tell? I guess he already kind of knows.
There was an incident while we were casting over the ocean between Longreach and Solorum. A storm matured, and from within the storm, a draconic creature emerged briefly. One that nearly capsized our vessel, and from what news reports we got when we arrived in the land, did successfully manage to, just by its presence alone, not through direct action, destroy several fishing vessels over miles of radius.
and through our own research, though we know not its name, there is a pecking hierarchy of evil creatures to which it is a dominant member of. Not all of them dragons.
I think you will best come with me. We will return to studies eventually, but the Senate and the Triumvirate itself are meeting currently. Or are meant to be meeting. I was actually on my way to Senate now, but if you have a first-hand account of seeing this creature, we would love to hear it. I'm sure. It is a topic of discussion for today.
Oh, well, it basically melted my brain, so sure.
That, and we've since lost one of the triumvirate, so there will be a vote happening soon anyway.
Wait, we've lost one of the triumvirates?
Yes, sadly, one of the 3 national leaders passed recently.
Oh, they went missing.
No, they
How
passed.
did this occur?
Oh, we assume natural causes at the moment. There's nothing to say otherwise.
Insight check.
Go for it.
19.
It sounds like he's saying the political line, but he has his own suspicions.
Is there any people in the government who would benefit from an alliance with these types of creatures? I don't think you would. Your family seems very noble, but perhaps there are other unsavory individuals.
You're clearly very new to Atria, my dear.
Oh
Come.
yeah, I've never been here before.
Let us walk and talk. I will give you some of the background of the landscape as we head.
Okay.
Very well. It's also about this time that the other group that was split off, you guys reach the grand library, and you kind of see this individual with the rest of your party as they kind of exit the great library building.
Yeah, I know those guys.
Guess we are not staying in the library.
We have to talk to Senate.
We're just straight up going to the Senate. Oh,
Yep.
Correct. I would be most grateful if you could share the report of your recent endeavors. They would want to hear.
While we're gone, would it be possible to leave any information we would like one of your acolytes to find for us, assuming that we do have permission to pertain to that knowledge?
That will
And
be
Claudia?
that will be partially something we will request from the Senate.
If it wouldn't be too much to just put the request in now, so the books could be found just in case. You could hand it to Titus, perhaps, if he's available.
I will have some of my. It wouldn't be Titus, but I can have Titus find the correct people.
Breton will just
Should
write
we-
down a name on a piece of paper and hand it over. Actually, he'll write down what we talked about and he'll just hand it over.
Sure thing.
Do we want to ask about the seals? I don't say that out loud, though. I
think it.
gesture. I gesture it wildly. Like,
Does anyone else
should we
speak
ask
thieves'
him-
can?
No, I'm gonna try to Pictionary it. or
Actually,
not
there is one
Pictionary it.
person that does speak
There's-
thieves' can.
There is another person that speaks
Claudia.
thieves' can.
Claudia
yeah.
speaks thieves' can.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna ask Claudia that.
But then she also has a grasp of other languages she could probably try and speak.
Ionian, probably.
I don't
which
want
two other
this
people on the
guy.
party
I don't
think.
want the dragon's gonna be able to speak a bunch of languages. He's a very learned man.
Maybe.
Yeah, like, should we also ask this guy about the seals, or should we wait until after the fact? Because, like, I just think if we're gonna have people studying for us, they may as well grab all the books in one go, if we're allowed, based on what the Senate says.
I personally would wait, but
Yeah.
I know what's sorry. The first person was like, I know exactly what Zedaar would say, but this is not Zedaar. This is Breton who has this opinion. I think let's focus on what we've already told them before we start disclosing any more information. No need to overload them with specifics.
Okay.
So, Atria is run by various groups of very powerful families. The gravitas of each family is measured in various formats: wealth, martial character, and it's been that way for many years. We couldn't find it within ourselves to leave just one leader, which is why we have the triumvirate. Forms for more stability. Even within that, though, the nation is not without its political upheaval. Problem with the power being in a select of so few, even with the guise of popular voting in a larger Senate, means that things ebb and flow more at the edge of the talon and tooth than the retirement or those stepping down because they were voted to do so. The elders of each family tend to now reside deep within the mountain, leaving the younger of the great lineages to run things and provide a relative safe haven for those of our kin and likening. My house, my house are thankfully in position of privilege to make up one part of the triumvirate. But there are other noble houses that also have their say. We all descend from a group of generals that came here with the Platinum Dragon in the early years of this plane. We are also those who remain to stand as a vestige of his learning, and teachings, and protection of this plane, and the deal he made with the king that never was. But like I said, this city and this country is not without its own issues. Thankfully, we haven't seen war in a very long time, but not to the degree of its civil war in fighting with ourselves, but political assassinations are not unheard of, which is why, when I first said that it seems to be natural, the emphasis where I did.
To be very forthright.
that was something I was wondering about. The city is very heavily fortified. Against what, if you have not been at war for quite some time?
This city has been around since the days before the summit. It is one of the few ancient cities of this world that remains. And the walls have been here since then. But, we fear that one day that things may change and the services of the Platinum Dragon may be needed again. So we always stand ready. Our capital is known as the Mountain with No End. We intend for that end to never come. But you walk across the large sort of open square and head up the steps to the main building of this area, which seems to be the Senate. And we will join that after the break. So we're going to take our 10-minute break here. Now we've used this time stretch, and we will see you after these messages. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Grey Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's wrestled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can beautifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click. An emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast.
Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
If we take this job, someone is going to get hurt. Not me, of course. I'm an effing delight. You do what you do, I'll do what I do. I'll keep the red stuff inside of you.
Buddy, we live in Night City. Just breathing can get you killed.
This sort of job? Bullets flying, people dying, gangers riding, corpos trying. Trying to take what they don't already own. Doesn't matter. For us, just another day at the office.
When the world seems bleak, you follow your heart. Take that stage without hesitation and give it everything you've got.
There's a lot more to this city than you'd think. You just gotta dive beneath the surface. People like me, we dive into the depths.
And we are back. So, you enter the Senate building. And again, this is you lead in and it's like there's like little like sort of kind of like a circular building, like in its entirety as well. With like it seems like the whole outer ring is like a chain, like a hallway kind of thing, like a wide hallway with like a lot of various like office rooms off the side of it. But you go through that sort of, so you go through the door, and there's about 20-foot of hallway in. Then you go in through these other big doors. And it is a large senatorial chamber with seats all around. There is like, and then there's like 6 seats in like a curve as well at the front of the building. They're like facing the rest of the Senate, and then like a floor in which people can speak. There's loads of other dragonborn, dragonkin, all sort of filing in various like people shuffling towards their seats. But you then see that essentially it goes, there's an individual sat in one seat. Then there's a seat that has like a large sort of ornate robe draped over it. And then the rest of the seats are also like filled. So it's like there's like the triumvirate are there.
Brighton instinctively inches closer to Ruby because the last time we were in like this, she got disintegrated.
Oh, this is huge compared to that, but yes. It's very similar to that kind of chamber. And it goes, he turns and goes, if you wait here a moment, I need to approach my family. You can be seated with us, but I will also need to pass word to the triumvirate itself.
Okay. Are we in? Can we go down? Never mind. Forget anything I just sang.
I'll be back in a moment. And the individual walks off.
Is the Senate chamber empty?
No, it's filling up, and there's also the triumvirate are all seated already, it seems.
Okay. She'll lean next to Breton. 2 humans, or 3, sorry, Darius. Sitting in the Senate chamber of Atria, about to give testimony.
Yeah, it's I'm having some flashbacks here, I'm not going to lie.
I'm not.
It's best you don't remember.
I remember. Just don't let it bother me.
What's easy for you to say?
Well, dying sucked, I won't deny that, but I've died fighting for what I believe in. It was a good death.
Procopius returns. Right this way, you can be seated with my family in our section of the chamber. He points, and there's like you see up above there's like flags hanging over different parts of like some of the Senate. There's our sections over here. Currently my older sibling is getting word to our kinsman who sits on the triumvirate about your arrival and what information you have to share.
Okay.
Who is the other person, triumvirate?
Oh, you want to know all of them? Of course. So the head of the triumvirate, speaker of the triumvirate, should I say, is my kinsman, Orientalius Castor. Then their second is Revilia Titus. That's the person to their right there. Sadly, Aemilius Ventura is the person who, well, a member of the Triumvirate who sadly passed recently, and you can see, they point to like the draped seat. But their second Otho is still there. They're of House Panthera. And then we have Tenarius Aratus. They're of House Quintilis. And their second is Iscarus Roma of House Sunario, which is there. I will just put these down for you guys to have as in our thing. And then you're, as in the section you're sitting in. Oh no, I'll put it in the handout section. Sorry, I understand. Yeah.
About how many other family members are we being sat with?
It's not all family members, but it's like
just that family name,
so
basically.
Like, yes. That's House Nexarada, who the Speaker of the Senate comes from. They are, and you notice as well. So like the house like sigils is like you can see them now kind of above. So like House Nexarada, there's like a gold, like a golden flagged emblem. Like Quintilius, there's like a steel color. Sonio is like they've got like a white standard. Ursus has purple. Tertullian has black, and Panthera has silver as their kind of standards. Each with a different emblem on.
Are there purple dragons?
Purple dragons don't exist.
Yeah, but one of the standards was purple. That's why I'm asking if there's a purple dragon. Like, do we see them in the Senate? Like,
no one here is in their full dragon form, it seems.
Could you repeat whose colors they were again? Sorry.
Sure. I can just copy and paste that as well into the handouts.
Even easier.
Yeah. There we go. It's a lot of Latin. It's a lot of Latin to get your heads around, and my own.
It's Lorem of House Ipsum.
Lorem of House Ipsum. Oh, you know her too. But no, you're seated with. There's a few individuals, like some of them sport like scales. So there are also like Dragonborn in your section. So, but you're also not sure of the full hierarchy of the individuals you're sat around. This is my brother, elder brother, Atticus. He's the current head of the cadet part that I hail from. We are the kind of the second house in this family. The families are numerous, but so each family has its own sort of subgroups. Sorry, I'm rambling. Atticus. And you see another individual is kind of like a golden robe on. They're sporting like mostly humanoid features, but then they've got like, you see like their neck is all gold scales, almost like if you've seen someone with like neck tattoos. But it's like that, but it's all just golden scales, and their eyes are also like gold. Like the pupil is also like it's got like a gold shine to it. But they've got like black hair. Well met, travelers. You may sit with us. Can I have any wine, food brought to you?
Wine would be great.
Absolutely.
Coffee, if you have it.
Hot chocolate? Do you know what this is?
I know what hot chocolate is. I'm sure I could have somebody bring it up to you. Yes. Miriam, do you see to it our guests are well looked after? So council will be in session and they're going to cover the ongoing news surrounding the various acts of terror that have been caused by our long king, our long lost kin, shall we say? And that's eventually you'll be called by the speaker to give your testimony. It would be better if only a few of you speak, if at all possible, just to move things along. So I'll give you time and who wants to do so. It would be as well best if none of you can speak Draconic, we can have someone translate for you. But it would go down better with the Senate if you could use the local tongue. Avoid speaking Kobold as well if you can.
So no Darius.
I speak Draconic. It's just I have an accent.
That would be fine.
That is perfectly valid.
The awful pig speak that is Kobold just does not settle well in the hallowed halls of the Senate.
That seems very...
For a culture that we were led to believe is very inclusive about their skill brethren, they seem to actually have a lot of shit to talk about kobolds.
They do subjugate dinosaurs. That's the beast of burden.
I mean, it's like, as Englishmen, we're super friendly with the rest of the countries in the United Kingdom, but the Welsh still do have a penchant for sheep. It's just a fact.
Hilariously, that was originally an insult towards the Scottish. Fun fact.
They do it too. I mean, it's it's the Highlands.
But there we go.
Highlands,
It's like
Valley,
we
same
all
shit,
hate
right?
it. No, it's yes. Anyway, so decide among yourselves, and other than that, once you've spoken, you are more than free to go. Don't be put off if various members of the Senate get up and leave or walk out. It's a very culturally communal thing, but at the same time, because of that, no one is ever bound to chambers, etc. You'll often see people go get food and be filled in later, or people talking and discussing. But
how is theatricality a part of the setting here, or are things meant to be usually given with fact and rhetoric as opposed to emotion?
Both have their weight in our society. However you best feel the information will be displayed, I would surmise would be the way to go.
Are there any houses here we need to be aware of that might cause a problem of some sort?
Depends where you align politically.
More concerned with the overall arching threat of the dragons more than I am political alliances.
His brow
At least at this
furrows.
moment.
There hasn't been anyone that has openly harbored in support for what's going on, but I would be lying if I was to say that there wasn't investigations into various houses on alleged accusations of being behind various parts of the plots, etc., etc., or having knowledge of them prior, etc., etc. But at the same time, with how the politics of this place happen, it could be quite naturally just defamatory evidence.
So how magical is everyone? Because I can potentially read minds, but would people be able to realize that I'm doing this? I'm whispering this to my boy Procopius.
Procopius then Procopius then says, "You do know that there are some lines of theory that believe that mortals got their magic from dragons."
And I should love to learn more from you. I will not do this thing. Thank you.
Probably for the best.
Who do you want among us to speak?
I would.
can speak Draconic.
Well, is everybody here? Does everybody in the forum, I believe this is called, speak Common?
Like I said, if not really, but if you would prefer to persuade in Common, and we can assign someone to translate.
That would probably be best, although I do have a certain speaking metric that can be lost by a translator. Oh well.
Procopius says, I'm more than happy to sit and translate.
I do feel that it would play better if it were to come from our own mouths. There's that level of trust to be earned.
Darius is a great orator.
I'm better.
You can't speak the language.
Yeah, but I have a translator.
I can speak good and also Draconic.
What's your charisma bonus?
He's 5, right? He's a warlock. He's a charisma caster.
Persuasion is +9. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Okay.
Valmir is a great orator.
No, as I said, compared to
My persuasion is also a 9.
All right.
But I don't have Valmir rolls going for me.
I've got 3 rerolls today. Let's go.
I am also capable in Draconic, and I can sometimes have these flashes of insight or genius that can boost this.
I can
but isn't your
add.
persuasion like a 2?
No, it is a +5.
Yeah, I have a plus. What is that?
You're a +5 as well, I think, aren't you?
Persuasion. No, I'm a +10 because I have expertise.
You're a +10.
And I can add
a D8.
D8 or D10. Sorry, it's a
So
D10.
technically, you
D10
could
on
get a +20 to your persuasion rolls.
Theoretically, yes.
And you speak the language.
The problem with Darius doing that is he doesn't like large crowds and talking to people.
No, that is true. But if I'm given a script to go ahead with, then I'll be fine.
You don't have the improv.
It's just I'll work through it. I'll get through it. It's like a duel. You gotta have to answer things. So I don't know what I'm talking about.
Know the text.
Exactly. By the way, I've spent a minute with this.
Which one?
This technically both of them. I have spent a minute.
Okay.
But
What would
the
you like to know?
older one.
Okay.
Well, with the older one, I would like to know what is their strength score higher than mine? I have an 18.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
It is higher.
It is higher. Okay, cool. And what is their armor class higher than mine? 22.
It's hard to say. It's just really hard to define because. So the thing is, this individual is polymorphed. So at this moment, no.
That's the answer then. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not like their true selves or anything. It's what I'm observing.
Okay, sure. I didn't know the.
But yeah, no, I'm fairly good at speaking, ish. I'll just.
I can act it out while you do that. I can act it.
Do you want to speak Darius, or do you want me to?
All right. What do we need to say?
Hi. Deception boy over here wants to speak.
I'm better at persuasion than I am at deception.
Like I said, it doesn't have to be one person that speaks. It can be a group of you, but we just want to cut down rather
why
than.
we're debating it.
I'm just saying that we don't want the full choir, so to speak. It's.
I think only people that speak in Draconic, because he already said that that's a big bonus to our favor.
I do feel it should be the 3 of us then. I believe it is just the 3 who speak Draconic.
Technically, there's a 4th one, but yeah, no.
It also might go a long way, actually, of you being of various backgrounds, put more credibility to it. So.
Various
human,
backgrounds.
tiefling, and gnome. What background is best there?
Got it.
Sorry, that gives
Oh, I thought he meant like nobility and street rat.
Oh, I got nobility.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who are you
Well,
pointing at noble?
Everyone is a citizen here. It's we don't. Okay, no, we do have some sort of nobility. That's fair, but in theory, everybody is equal here.
Theory.
Then Ruby.
We're all equal, but our pay isn't.
We just have various. We have different hordes. It's,
Yeah, but where do you get your hordes from? What do you like? Pillage local villages to steal their stuff?
So tributes paid.
Are your hordes ethically sourced?
I think
ours are. Our hordes come from. We brought our horde with us mostly, and we often make
So you rolled
ethical
money.
trades. Yes.
I rolled money.
Like I said, we descend from one of the first generals under Bahamut.
This is our speaker now.
I've heard of being church funded, but this is ridiculous.
So what are we going to say when we
Got
have
a
questions?
really weird vibe from this place I just didn't get from Zedaar. It seems like he didn't explain a lot of intricacies of this society.
Zedaar was not from the big city. He was from small. He was he was born in a very rural town and moved to one of the smaller cities when he was young.
Also, most of the holy, the religious things work very differently than the politics.
Yeah. He was not politically inclined at all.
He was not a politician. He was a priest.
All right. Well, I guess that was good.
You're like you're essentially talking to the Minister of Education.
That makes it worse. That makes that worse.
In terms of what we want to say, I think that you guys should each speak from your own personal experience. Like Zep talks about what the dragon did to the ship. Darius talks about because you saw it come out of the rift. Valmir talks about Papa saying we do not.
No, he
mess
definitely does not say about Papa.
See, and that's your problem. You need to tell them exactly what's going on here so that they can
You
get
have
to
to
the
be
bottom of this.
truthful. Now, I will make sure I do not mention the fact that I've killed multiple dragons with the bow on my back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hide the cloak and the bracers away.
Oh wow, we are wearing.
We are wearing the kin.
Yeah, but we can't say that we were attacked by a dragon of a different type, especially if they are not normal here.
Sure, I mean, we can say that we killed them.
It would show that
wearing them is probably
We don't
a
see
little
any
on the
we don't see anyone wearing human bracers or anything like that.
This is the forest.
I'm just making sure, if it is, then cool. Well, that's not a faux pas. But
I'm not
Don't
sure I
you
saw
think that
any
we should
human
explain the connection between the other dark forces that these dragons may be in league with to pull other righteous beings into our cause? Because obviously that's evil.
Yeah, I agree.
we should also mention why it is that we came to Atria. What it is we are hoping that they can provide for us.
Well, let me do a description of the dragons that we fought, because I can literally show them. Because I can magic show them.
Yeah, we're not in an anti-magic field or anything, are we?
No, doesn't seem so.
Okay. Cool. Oh no, he's polymorph. Of course he is.
Well, no, that's a physical ability of dragons. That's an innate. That's not a spell. They can just,
I say, go ahead and lead, Zep. Valmir can take the center, and I guess we'll feel it out and see who takes the next step, or if even we need to step in at all. We'll just be there to agree and answer questions. I don't know if there's gonna be a Q&A segment at the end.
Valmir, weren't you just saying you could provide some sort of illustration?
I'm going to cast Minor Illusion and do an image of the red dragon we fought in Compound. Just one that'll fit in my palm. Yeah, I got this.
Yeah, that'll work.
Well, with that, there is a large hit of a gavel, and Senate is now in session. You see the head of the Speaker of the Triumvirate, Anrayne, Parentalis caster stand up. She begins to go, citizens of Atria, noble and low alike, we are gathered today for a multitude of reasons to discuss the ongoing afflictions of the wider world and those that directly affect our nation itself. We will conclude today's senatorial meeting with the election and elevation of one of our citizenry to the triumvirate. But first, we speak of ongoings far and wide. The continued attacks by subversive elements of a distant kin who not only put our reputation at stake, but are also causing chaos. We've had reports from not just my family, but many of the families who have gone out and sought after information that they are indeed members of an old enemy society that looked to tear us down not 500 years prior. We do not know where these subversive elements are hiding, but they have had many years, it seems, to plan. And they are attacking worldwide. Why they have not attacked here, we believe, is again to draw the ire and suspicion towards us as being in league, which, of course, we are not. And the Senate's kind of, you've got a lot of gesticulation and shouting back at this individual. We have with us some travelers who wish to speak to you all of the nature of some of these attacks, as well as more troubling news that they have come across and seen with their very eyes. I would ask those of the delegation who are coming to speak to take to the floor in front of me and give to the people of Atria what knowledge they have. And the triumvirate will thank them and reward them for being so helpful to our great nation. She kind of side-eyes the other members of the triumvirate. You also know
insight check on that. Just
sure.
See what's going on with that. I don't know. It seems weird. And again, it's politics, so Darius is not gonna know what's going on. 15.
You notice that an individual, the member of Tertullian House, who's kind of kept a lot more of their draconic features, kind of rolls their eyes and looks to the side when they mentioned like the reward sort of thing. And this individual is like clearly both very formal, but also very holier than thou kind of than a lot of the other triumvirate members. And they're definitely, whilst I might not be exactly explaining it, they are a very good orator. Their voice is carrying throughout the whole Senate, and it's like they're clearly very well respected for the most part. But yes, so those of you who wish to speak may do so.
Zep will stand and go to the center of the speaking chamber. I would hope with the other two in tow. As he advances, he is fiddling with one of his tools, a little hammer, and as he does, he taps it, and it makes a loud dum 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 sound. He will then hold this up, having just changed his tools into being able to cast the prestidigitation cantrip to make his voice louder.
Thaumaturgy. That's thaumaturgy.
Prestidigitation does it too.
Thaumaturgy lets you have a booming voice.
I know thaumaturgy does.
Thaumaturgy is a level 1 spell, though, isn't it? It's not a cantrip.
No, it's a cantrip.
Thaumaturgy is a cantrip, yeah.
No, I use the thaumaturgy.
Prestigitation's the one that can clean you, I think.
I thought it did everything. It's basically just
No, it's snuff out lights, clean soil object, chill warm water, make a color, non-magical trinket for a harmless sensory effect.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, so you can make you can make like a sound, like a chime going off, or
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, the thaumaturgy is the one that makes your voice louder.
Cool.
Or crashes.
Just thaumaturgy, I'll take.
And we'll see if there's a feedback sound at the beginning of the speech, whether or not you roll well or not.
We are members of the Skyfire Adventuring Company. I myself am Zep Skyspan, the captain of the skyship Skyfire that you may have seen flying over the city recently. We are all from Longreach, although one of our company is currently in Lederungsland. A priest of Bahamut known as Zedaar, who is from here, is from Atria. We were present in the city of Compound in the Rayanian Empire when it was attacked by dragons. We fought against them in trying to defend the city against their assault. Ultimately successfully, but a lot of damage was done to the city. We have also heard that Goranov and Mitharan were both assaulted as well. And since crossing over here to Solaran, my own city in Lederungsland was attacked by dragons. But I believe this is all things that you know already. You are more interested in our crossing when we saw a storm appear in the sky. Storms for our type of vessel are not unusual, so we tried to go around it. But this thing was huge, and Zep will talk about some stuff about how the storm was. I'm sure he knows more details than I do. But from this storm...
A big 5-foot wide minor illusion of the storm, and while Zep is speaking, he's basically narrating with pictures.
Okay. And from this, what can only be described as a draconic entity emerged from what seemed to have been a portal. And Zep will describe the beast, and I'm guessing Valmir will change the picture into being whatever this thing looked like. Just its mere presence had some effects on the crew.
You notice that there's like a lot of... and like members of the Triumvirate also like lean over to... over there, because you're kind of completely surrounded by those you're talking to. So there's like a lot of people are now very much affixed at what you're saying.
And Zep will talk about how the crew is affected, because Mordred doesn't remember, but Zep would. And particular, Zaraj, who was able to look at this creature through a spyglass, was particularly affected by its presence. We did eventually manage to clear away from this beast as it flew in Zep will say what direction it flew in. It is northward. It is clearly still present here somewhere. Do either of you have anything to add to this?
There was another dragon that we encountered while in the skies above Drien. That was something strange, something I'd never encountered before or heard of. A dragon seemingly made from topaz. Instead of being a platinum dragon or red dragon, it was topaz. And when it fell, it crashed to the ground several 100 feet below and broke into pieces of literal topaz. We actually caught this dragon's name as well. He's creating, by the way, Valmir is doing like minor allusion to, narrate along with this as well, showing the dragon itself.
And Zep is holding his hammer in front of your mouth.
I can do thaumaturgy on my own as well, but and
not while you're doing another spell, you can't.
Thaumaturgy, I can hold multiple actions of it, so assume it just sticks around.
No, yes, but if you're The other spell, Minor Illusion, requires verbal or semantic components. It's going to override your ability to do the verbal or semantic components of the other spell. So you'd be switching.
Okay.
Unless they're concentration.
I will hold the hammer in front of your mouth.
Yeah, I'll just hold the hammer. It's easy. His name was Xenopharius. And I'm gonna read the crowd, the Senate, to see if that name brings any kind of recognition.
Sure. Give an insight check. You're looking at the Senate or the Triumvirate?
Both, mostly the Triumvirate though.
Because one's behind you, one's in front of you, depending on which way you're facing.
14. I'll be looking all around. I don't know.
The Senate itself is everyone is kind of just a fix at what you're saying, and if there's murmurs, they're now whispers kind of thing, and everyone's just kind of waiting for you all to finish before they say anything. No one is interrupting you, and everyone is looking intently at you.
Furthermore, there was a pair of green dragons that we encountered outside of the city of Modjwin. These dragon attacks seem to be happening all over the world, as you're well aware. Yeah, I'm just, minor illusion of the green dragons as well, and basically letting them know what it is we've seen. This latest dragon, the one that came out of the rift in the sky, we believe it may have some connection to Asmodeus. He's again just kind of reading the crowd, trying to.
Give me another insight then, if you're reading the crowd again.
That's another 14.
Have you seen that guy over there? He seems to be looking a bit strangely at you. Flash of genius.
19, I think, is a +5.
No real change. There's a couple of individuals like that now. Otho, the one that's next to the empty chair, kind of has gone from being lean in to kind of a concerned lean back kind of. But other than that, it's so hard to read so many people.
And this is ultimately why we made the journey from our homes in Longreach here to Atria. We know that you are obviously the foremost experts on dragons and dragon kind. And we were hoping to tap into your knowledge and experience as to why this is happening, and more importantly, how we can stop it.
Have you said all that you have?
We'll just say, because we'll be reiterating what Zep was doing, since Darius, I think, was the only person who maintained their mental stability, and also was looking at the dragon the entire time that it was in existence. He'll just provide a description, a very, very detailed description of it, without any mental, didn't freak him out at all, or didn't break his sanity.
Yeah.
So,
would you all give me a persuasion roll then, please?
Just straight. Oh yes, 28.
I'm gonna go ahead.
And I'm flash of geniusing myself. 13.
Yeah. I'm gonna use a superiority die. 33.
Oh. There's a lot of silence.
That's a really good description.
Yeah, there's a lot of silence, but everyone is sort of holding. Everyone is sort of holding into this story that you guys are talking about, and then Darius, you begin to really speak and describe this creature, and just as you finish it speaking, kind of the rest of the room just erupts with people discussing, shouting, people trying to demand answers. So much so that the speaker has to. There's just, you hear them, silence, and the whole room just.
Was silence cast or?
No, but essentially everyone just goes and just sits down, and it's like everyone's like it brings a full like order to the court kind of thing. It's like their voice just cuts above everything else, and everybody stops. Of course, the Triumvirate itself will need to vote on this, but I say that we afford these travelers every availability of our great nation to help sort this problem, as it seems they bring news far more ill-fated than we first thought. And like, there's a couple of nods from the other members of the triad, but anyone, including those watching, give me an insight check on the Triumvirate themselves.
21.
Jesus, what is going on? We're all rolling so low, and Valmir's over here with the big boy rolls.
Man is siphoning your energy.
He's starting to be a little honest.
He's starting to leave.
This is called karma, and it's good.
Valmir, you notice a few things. You notice that Opho has a look of big distrust towards everything going on. Isn't really affirming or denying anything. You also notice that the Aritus and Isarakus don't really affirm with what the speaker is saying, but then begin to like they're just kind of talking between themselves, and they look skeptical, I would say. We shall put it to a vote then between us. I'm in favor of giving these travelers what they need in terms of researching and reaffirming their findings. You then see that their second, the speaker's second, also votes in favor. The two discussing that look skeptical seem to vote nay. And it's left with Otho, who is just looking at you all. And they lean in. Tell me again the name or names of those you slayed. Only then will I make my vote.
We know only one name of the 4 that we have defended ourselves from. That being Xenopharius, the Topaz Dragon.
The very quizzical and reserved face then turns to this very subtle, toothy grin. And he votes in favor of letting you have access. Speaker puts her hand down. Very well. Precarious. That's not the right word, was it? What was the...
Procopius.
Procopius. Precarious.
Picard.
You, family member. You will see to it that these travelers get the information they need. Procopius nods their head. Now, we move on to the voting. This, of course, will be a closed matter for the Senate. So, those visiting or on looking for the rest of the session, please retire to the various outer rooms and rejoin us later once the voting is concluded.
We appreciate your time and your attention, good senators of Atria.
There's like an applause and like some cheering from the audience. And Darius, quickly give me a perception check.
And before sorry.
Darius, there is an individual, almost like, you know when someone's looking at you to try and grab your attention? You're muted.
Yeah, I rolled a 22, just to say, because I knew I was muted then. Yes, like moving their eyes to get motion.
Well, it's more the fact it's more like they are just staring you out in the crowd. You notice an individual, like there's others that are getting up around them. They're kind of sat there. They seem to be wearing like plate armor, but it's of a very Rhiannian style. And they're like looking at you, and then they stand up, nod, and leave the Senate.
I must go. I will see you later.
My people need me.
Just multiply.
I guess we should head to the Great Library, though I would also like to visit the Great Temple of Bahamut, as I feel that the priesthood there may also be able to offer us a perspective.
I don't speak Draconic, but I believe they gestured to the outer waiting room while they make a vote.
Yeah, I was saying this as we were leaving, I thought.
Yeah.
So do we wait here or do we just leave?
Seems that we've got no support.
The main hall, right?
We were told that we were free to go once we shared the information that we had.
Oh.
I mean, if we want to stick around and find out who becomes the next seat on the triumvirate, then that is something we could do, I guess, but we might
I'm
have
sure that'll
other
be cried
important
from the
matters.
streets.
Exactly.
So, guy, I'm saying this in common. So, yeah, it went really well, and they all kind of voted to give us, like, straight up full access.
We were there.
I know, but they said it in Draconic. I'm translating.
We had translators.
Yes,
Yeah.
they had translators.
I wasn't aware, but that's cool.
I mean, Procopius was sitting with us.
Yes, and Prometheus was as well. There's also lots of yeah.
Just reiterating the point, we did good.
Are you still a little anxious from your time up on the podium?
No, I'm good.
How's your oxygen intake?
I second winded. We're all good.
Oh, he's running out of winds.
That's not how it works.
But I had a long rest, a short rest, probably at some point, maybe. Then I did it again.
Oh boy.
It works. Like you just start taking a second. Okay, we're good.
Connor just suddenly
It's a long, short,
collapses onto the ground.
A long, short rest. Not as good as the short, long rest.
Yeah.
Zeb, I would like to go with you to a temple of Bahamut.
You're lucky they're all in the same sort of central district of the city. It's like you've seen like the Red Square, like in terms of openness of like central, that's kind of the area. So it's like there's like the Senate building, across from there's the Great Library, then there's like the temple. It's like very like a classical city, very, all the big things are in the center, that kind of thing, with a big open sort of paved square, meeting square. Sometimes it's probably a market, maybe, but like it's like at the moment it's like there is just and there's also like a statue in the middle of like 3 swords. But Darius, you are, when you leave the council chambers, you just hear a psst.
Hey, buddy.
I look towards the noise.
Mm-hmm. You see what looks to be a knight, or in like very Rhiannian armor, It's not someone you recognize, but give me a history check for the heraldry.
Cool. $23. I can add a D10 to that if that's not good enough for you.
No, it's okay. They seem to have the royal family sigil. Oh, it wasn't very hard. They seem to have a variant of the royal family sigil of the Rien, like emblazoned on a brass. Yeah, they have one like emblazoned on a brass, like sort of cloak clasp, or what they called brooch.
Brooch, yes.
Yes, like there's like a big ringlet one, you know, the big circular ones that you
like the one I wore.
Yeah, like that one. Yeah. Yeah. And instead of like a coat of plates, this individual's actually in like, it seems to be more local plate armor.
I try common first. Hello. How may I help you?
You're a nerd, aren't you?
Yes, it's not too hard to pick that out.
Puts his hand out. My name's Aldred. I'm the Rhiannon ambassador to Atria.
Oh. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I was wondering, do you happen to have any news of what's going on back home? The side theaters tend to get a little bit neglected in times of war.
Well, I don't think I do know anything about what's going on. That's very out of date. We've been traveling for a while overseas on an airship, so my information is a ways out of date. I only just now heard some information from a town crier a few hours ago.
Good. Then you're the right one I'm looking for.
I'm sorry?
You and your sister are being followed.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Let's drop the pretext then. What did you really want to talk about?
Something come across my desk. A request for a certain Rhiannian mercenary company to have rights to work within Atria. I was forwarded the request and said they were on the hunt for some fugitives. I looked into it and heard tell of a little family scuffle. I like to do my due diligence.
I wouldn't put it necessarily like that. It's more of a disagreement.
Look, family's fucking family. From what it seems like, you and your friends are on something a bit more important than our local issues. So if you'd like, I'd reject their request.
What, do you have any information about the specifics about the request? Who's coming? Do they have a mark on the request?
Nothing formatted. They're just a group of about 15 individuals, apparently. It came from the Renard Company. Well, came from the head honcho, let's say. It came through diplomatic channels.
sounds about right. Hold on a second. Just going to roll something here.
This.
You don't have to go through the trouble. It's because they'll just I'll just get you in trouble if unless you have a marked reason that you could use for that. I don't want to get you. Don't want
He smiles.
to cause you any issues.
Look, just because someone with a lot of money has pressured various other diplomats at home doesn't mean that they have to ruin what is good for the greater of the Rien. So again, I'll leave it up to you. He hands you a bit of paper. This is my address.
Right.
You have 5 days to decide on if I'm letting them in or not. Come see me whenever, and I'll either approve or deny the paperwork. But if we do approve it, a good chance they're already at the border.
Yeah, I was going to say somewhere again. Thank you for this. I'll have to think on this. I'll think through this and figure out what's going on with that. Bye. He walks away.
Okay, so the rest of you, you then are greeted with Darius has already left. They're kind of in the entrance foyer of the council chamber as the rest of you leave, as they ran off straight from the speeches. Oh. But Propius just are we to be heading to the library, or do you have other plans right now?
Well, with permission in our hands, those of you who want to go to the temple are fine, but I would like to get a head start on the research that I put in a note for.
Yeah, I'm with Breton on this one.
I as well would like to get my nose in some books and text.
Very good. Well, if the rest of you want to join us later, please make yourselves aware to the acolytes and they'll bring you to me. But we'll be in a more private archive. But okay, let's go. So for clarity, Zep, you'll go. Zep and Zaraj, you're going to the Temple of Bahamut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which you can do so. And the rest of you, you head back to the Great Library. And you're taken from that sort of central area where you first met this gold dragon to down a couple of corridors through a locked set of doors. Still large as well, as if to fit perhaps a dragon. But you're into a chamber that seems to be more library in nature. It's got a lot of like bookshelves, but they seem to be more covered with scrolls than books per se. And the texts seem to be a lot older. Inside is a couple of also attendings, it seems, to aid in the study. Breton, wasn't it?
Yes.
A couple of these texts are in the darker languages, should we say, in terms of general existence.
Language is no barrier for me if you are needing that kind of...
We have those who I myself can speak it, but as well. But if depends. I'm just gonna have to come out right out and see it.
What
do
language?
do you speak Abyssal?
I do.
No, that's not something I'm familiar with. We'll need a translator for that one.
No, you don't.
That's the
Brett will
only
look at
language
Ruby
I
and just say, yes, I'd like a translator for that one.
Unfortunately, Zaraj, you're not there.
You don't. I can speak it, Brett.
And Breton will look at Ruby again, and with a look that says, no, I'd really like to have a private translator for this one. Like, he wants to read these scrolls by himself.
Okay. I don't. She doesn't get it. I don't get it, but
Those I'll look at personally if you have someone who can help translate for them. There'll probably
I'm-
be translators for the others as well.
I'm happy to help you. The Abyssal is a far less covered language, at least around here.
I would appreciate that.
But the rest of you, my attendings here tend to be well versed in a lot of the languages of these scripts. They should be able to assist you in your research. We have texts that go back. Some of our texts go back even to before the summit. But I don't know where you'll find what you're looking for.
Other than the ones that I requested, any information you will have in regards to the Elendor Chronicles would be ideal, or any edicts that Bahamut himself may have originally ordained about it, or the affairs that are covered in such things.
That is an interesting question. I will definitely... There will definitely be some things, but I don't know how much they will help. There's definitely things and guarded secrets here of more draconic lore that I would gesture maybe would be helpful as well. But okay. I hope you will enjoy long and spiraling texts of work that take forever to get to the point.
They always do.
Master Breton, right this way. And the rest of you are free to begin researching in the library with the aid of others. So whoever is like helming a research on a topic, please give me a description of what it is you're looking for, and then we'll roll an investigation and I'll see what you get, kind of thing. Like essentially, ask me a question, and I will see, and your roll will determine what kind of answer you get.
well, I'll let Breton handle it since apparently I'm not needed.
Breton is researching a different topic.
I'm doing private research. That's why I was emphasizing this is research. Sorry.
Valma will search for any books regarding like demonic dealings around the summit, like time period, like the Ruokos, that kind of element. And I'll just let the person attending know that I can speak, I can read every language, so that's not a barrier.
Okay. Sure. So what is your question? Like I said, phrase it like a question.
Yeah, how do I word this then? Do you have any books regarding the Ruokos, demonic entities that were active in and around the summit and the war? I can't remember what the war is called, but you know, Valmite knows.
Cool. Give me an investigation check then.
Oh, I'm really good at investigation checks.
With advantage, sorry, because of where you are.
Oh, thank fuck.
Sorry.
My first roll was a 2.
I got distracted by a cup of tea. It's a very British distraction.
That's a 13.
Okay. There were many around the time of the summit. There were a lot of demonic and devilish incursions, we say. As a lot of other texts have already outlined, that the summit, although happened on one day, it was a day frozen in time. So in terms of like lineal days, it was possibly centuries. A lot of what became a group known as the essentially the banished, those who didn't accept the terms and were thus pushed out, such as Asmodeus, other dark entities and their followers, were essentially slowly hunted down and destroyed or dismissed or forced out through magical means. And there is a little note that you capture, but you don't get much more information of, that there was particular issues with getting the Ruakas away because they were from here.
Nothing, no new information.
Hard to banish what was already here.
Do I know what is the relationship like between Asmodeus and Lolth? Is there any...
That would be a separate piece of research.
Do you want me to do another investigation?
You can, but we'll come back to it. Who else is researching? We'll do it question at a time. So, Ruby, fuck. Ruby, what's your question for the room, and then we'll get you the roll.
Ruby is looking up insights into the scorned ones of them. Any ancient texts or legends for clues about them, any historians or scholars who might specialize in that kind of field, or any reference or stories about the group.
Okay. Sure.
School.
Go for it. Give me an investigation, and I will see. Can you phrase that in a question?
She wants to look up stuff about the scorned ones of them. Can she do that?
I'm looking for a question so I can personally provide you with an answer, kind of thing. So that's kind of how I want to do this, a little bit slightly different, rather than me.
Who are the scorned ones of them?
Who are the
Where did they come from?
Yeah, that kind of thing. So
So
I can narrow these.
It's a broad. She's trying to find any information she can on them.
Scorned ones of them, please? Question mark.
She doesn't know anything about them, so she has no reference to start. Other than they were people who got kicked out.
So who are the scorned ones of them? Okay.
Who are they?
Scorned ones of them.
I mean,
a beginner's guide for dummies.
She knows who and what they are. She knows that they were those who were rejected by the king who never was, because he didn't want to become divine, and therefore they got pissed off about that. As the assumption she's going off, she knows that much at least. So now she wants to find out anything that they might have done any point throughout history. What have their activities that have been written?
Okay. Give me an investigation check. We'll see what you find.
This is where I roll a 1.
It's at advantage, remember.
14. Okay. One more than I apologize. 16.
16. Okay. So confirming somewhat what it was already kind of covered. Scorned ones of them are a radical sect, fanatical in nature, of the king that never was. There's a particular entry here because the king that never was does have a lot of ties with Bahamut, as Bahamut was part of the Celestial League that, eventually would form the what would become things like the Pantheon of Albert, like, and there was a lot of close connections. Like, also, like, Bahamutian followers have a really big tie to Lathander followers because of crossover aspects and also fighting side by side in, like, the War for the Heaven. They were particularly of note here because they were even they believed that those who, a lot of the gods that remained in terms of that also sided with so gods that sided with the king that never was, that also agreed to be banished, they also believed that they shouldn't have been followed, as in by had a following either. Like, they should have given up all of their control. They believe that the results of the way that the outcome of the Great Summit and the First Green and Pleasant Day and all of that wasn't far enough, and the king that never was should be the one and only god of this plane, and only then would they be truly protected. And there was a whole situation where a group of fanatics attacked the Great Temple of Bahamut and tried to tear down the Platinum statue within, only to be all eaten by a silver dragon and senator of the time, as the story goes.
Okay. Well, first off, Ruby sympathizes with them a little bit. Okay. Not really helpful, but good to know.
But they seem to be fanatic radicals that keep appearing throughout history.
Any recent activities?
Nothing totally of note.
Bases of operation, not base, central locations where they usually operated out of.
The last time that there was a major insurgency, it was kind of linked, it seems, to the Vasilian theocracy, the Crusader state that's there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which is one kind of location on the world.
First place attacked.
First place of attack, yes, but it's also one of the places that they're not as outcast as they're not seen as heretical there. They're not seen as they're just seen as overzealous members of their existing community there, rather than kind of they're not outcasts societally there as much. To be said.
Okay.
Cool. James, what is your question? Answer me these questions 3.
And
near the other side, you see.
Ask of me these questions 3, maybe.
Yes.
I was thinking of kind of looking into what they might have on Eladrin the Immortal and his story from the beginning, basically. Leading down into looking into the process of the Traitor Trees and how it's done and then undone kind of thing.
That's kind of 2 questions. So which one would you like to answer first?
I'll do the Eladrin the Immortal first.
Put it in the form of a question.
Immortal and his... Who is Eladrin the Immortal and his...
Okay.
Biography story, basically.
Give me an investigation check, friend.
Alrighty. I will definitely be pumping up my intelligence to a 19 on this by activating one of my
blood magics. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just gotta change it real quick.
Just before I read this, I just gotta cut myself.
Well,
he does it through potion.
Yeah, so on this one, it's more of he inhales a powder to enhance his intellect. So essentially, everything the way it works is he basically has an organ and a alchemical ingredient that kind of activates the organ in a sense.
So this is an alchemical ingredient that heightens the mind.
Yes. So
he rebalances his humors in his favor.
Said powder, clearly not white though. Right, obviously.
It's more of a lilac, and that'll be a 26.
Fuck me.
You find a very old elven scripture that is it's more like in Sylvan, to be fair. It is not entitled The Story of Eladrin the Immortal, but the story of Aeolus Polymaion Galanondel, sorry.
Can I get that in writing?
Yes, of course you can.
Thank you.
And it tells of a young sort of general who was born to a noble family in the high forest of the court of Corellian Latharian, the created god of the elven kind, who originally came from sort of people who were essentially like a marcher lord within the high forest. They were chosen to serve in so his family were chosen to be the lords of the Phaland of Elendor when the mission to do so and the Fae decided to enter the plane. And so they were the people that were upgraded to the mantle when the job arose. And this was like thousands of years before even the celestial armies like entered the plane and started waging war against the devils, the demons, and all of that. They would they went even before then and built and began planting the Great Forest. From there, they cornered out their corner, and it was his job as a general to, when he was growing up and under his father, to protect the forests. It was during this time in under Corellian and under the under his father's tutelage that he met his future wife, who was also of an elven noble of a Fey noble family of the Summer Court, and there's a lot of talk of like. There's like chapters of this book that seem to be devoted to their relationship. It seems that the Aeolus was a very, at least in their youth, a very romantic individual, and very, that kind of ideas of courtly love. There's a lot of like, but in the sense of like being so devoted and chaste to this one individual kind of thing. By the time they were probably a couple of thousand of years old at this point, they were, once their father had also gone back to the Feylands of beyond, they were put in charge, and due to their skill as a strategist, they ended up as a essentially was what's known as the General of the High Forest, which only 12 entities in existence have ever held. Like, they were a very high station. Imagine them as like, if we're talking modern military ranks, they were like Fey Field Marshal kind of thing. Like, they were like totally up there in terms of the rank and almost like demigod-like status. And essentially they would then lead the Fey defense force of their region during the War of the Heavens. They didn't go on the offensive really a lot. They were mainly, if a demonic horde entered the forest, the demonic horde never left the forest kind of thing. There was, but eventually, Corellian, the creator god, made a deal with the other gods, and the Fey forces joined with their celestial contemporaries and actually went on the offensive. There's actually a real big story as well that you come across of the individual Iolas that would become Eladrin the Immortal, defeating a demon lord by the name of Volcaric, the Consort of Chains. And there's a big epic in there about that. Then they also took part in the final battle, it seems, of the War of the Heavens, and fought alongside the king that never was. Even in this script, the name is redacted of the king that never was, it
seems. So like this was obviously rewritten, so it's not like it was scratched out and written over. It's just rewritten as the king that never was, basically, right?
Yes. Well, it's not given the holy moniker. It's actually given the general term hero quite a lot,
okay.
More than anything. And then it goes on. There's a big bit, but basically the long and the short of it is, there were essentially an era which for the Fae was known as the Three Betrayals and the Sundering. They first felt betrayed by the hero and the Divine Confederacy that formed, as the outcome of it was not favorable to the Fae. It only served what was deemed the mortal races, as all of the immortal races were essentially thrown away, whereas they were like, we were here first kind of thing, which they were. So there was that, and then there was various other Fae deified creatures rejected the proposals of the Great Summit as well. So people like Lolth, people like the Summer and the Seelie and Unseelie courts also took aversion to it. There was a lot of basically all of the Fae that had in this time come together to help fight like the undivine, the evil, rapidly began fracturing, and Iolas was at the very center of it. And the final betrayal was Corellian themselves agreeing to leave the plane and either take all of his followers with him or remove the immortality of those who stayed behind. And essentially, Iolas had made Elendor, the plane, his home, and refused to go back to the Feylands and the Great Forest beyond, and elected to stay here himself and lead and protect the Great Forests here on Elendor, as he had done for many hundreds and thousands of years. But doing so gave up a huge portion of his own power. He keeps the moniker immortal, and is kind of immortal, but is massively weakened, and he took the form of an Eladrin to do so, hence the name Eladrin the Immortal. He's also seen as one of the first Eladrin in terms of how they're seen on this plane, anyway. There's a very big, there's a section towards the end of the book as well, where essentially is covering Eladrin the Immortal's coronation. And the last thing that Corellian, the creator god, did before leaving was crown Eladrin the Immortal, also it says. And it imparted the words to them of, lead them like the mortals lead. Be their king, Iolas, and in your remaining immortality, guide and protect them. And that there was and with that, an article known as the Sundering of Courts, which was all of the Fey courts, again breaking into the constituent parts, and the breaking of the true Fey connection to this plane was done. And since then, they have been ruling as the leader of the Eladrin Empire on their corner of the plane. Fucking 26 roll. I will just, I will share with you. All the names are in this document here, Shane, and I'll just share that with you because you got most of it. So
great. Yeah, I was trying to take some quick notes. That was great.
Okay, who is next on the question?
Steve Breton.
Breton, would you like to roll on your question, or would you prefer I provide that to you privately? You're muted, sir.
No, we can roll all that afterwards.
Absolutely, we can. No problem. Okay, then. What I'm going to do here, then, is quickly jump. Oh, Zaraj is gone. But, Zep, you enter the Grand Temple of Bahamut. In the center, there is, like, a giant platinum statue of Bahamut. Like, I'm trying to describe it in size, but, the kind of, like, statue of Zeus style temple is kind of what I'm thinking. So it's like it is a towering statue of Bahamut in pure metal. In like there was like white flames and braziers all around it, and so it seems to be more. It doesn't seem to be like a temple in the fact that like sermons are being given or anything more towards like what the long reach pantheons would do. There's no sort of that kind of thing, but there's like a lot of people going in and praying, paying their respects, donations to the church, that kind of thing. And there also seems to be other elements of the temple, like there seems to be like a soup kitchen for the homeless kind of thing, and those kind of things. It seems like that there might be some sort of, at certain points there will be like main royal, or not royal, but like big processions and festivals and that kind of thing, but they don't seem to have like, it doesn't look to be like anywhere to directly, like there's not like pews and a font and all that kind of thing.
Well, Zep, as he arrives, will do the typical tourist thing of basically just wandering around in awe, especially around the central statue, appreciating the craftsmanship behind it, I am sure. And eventually, he will try to find an acolyte or somebody that seems to work here and strike up a conversation with them.
Absolutely. Give me a just, you can do that. That doesn't require a roll, but yes, you can find an individual, or that's for sure.
Okay. Bahamut's blessings upon you.
Bahamut's blessings on you as well.
I have come from a distant land, brought here, you could say, by one of your own priests of Bahamut, dragonborn known as Zedaar. You probably do not know of him. I believe he is from one of the outer towns. But it is still his guidance, I believe, that brought me here in the end. I was wondering, how familiar is the temple with what is happening in the Senate chambers, and whether you heard anything about the testimony there given by the Skyfire Adventuring Company?
I myself am not overly familiar, but the High Priest was probably present. The current acting High Priest isn't a member of the Triumvirate, so church affairs are a sideshow. We are our own entity, though. And us and the Silver Legions and the various holy orders obviously have our own duties and do our own diligence. We know of some things going on.
It is actually the sideshow I wish to speak with. I believe that they may, in some ways, be more use to us than the political body going on at the moment. The issue that we are trying to get to the heart to is about dragons that have been appearing throughout the world, both in my land and also, I believe, in Solarim. Would it be possible to speak to the leadership of the temple here?
I will put in a word with the High Priest. I'm sure they will want to speak with you.
Yeah, especially if they have heard what we had to say in the Senate. I look forward to their guidance. Bahamut has himself guided me a couple of times when I did not know what to do. And I hope that he will once again be able to do so here.
The Platinum Dragon has always protected and guided those who needed it. I'm glad that you found solace with this. Give me a moment, I will speak to the High Priest.
Thank you.
He walks off, goes off to a side chamber, comes back with an individual that looks to be human, but with dragon wings and like half dragon features, like covering most of their body. Their wings are they've got like seems to be mainly red dragon features. They approach you. He tentatively speaks in Draconic. Good day to you.
Bahamut's blessing upon you as well.
I wasn't sure. You had some questions of both religious and historical significance.
Yeah, I do. Forgive me, I have not come with the rest of the group. It should probably be a group discussion, but we can come to that a little later if you don't mind. I do not know how familiar you are with what has been happening in the Senate and the account given of the dragon sightings by the Skyfire Adventuring Company.
I caught only half of it, but it sounded dire.
It is not good. As I was telling the acolyte here, I feel that I've been guided to Atria by Bahamut's push, shall we say. It is clear that if anyone knows about dragons and draconic lore, it is the people of Atria. And it is to your guidance that we have come. And Zeb will just effectively recount in very quick what he said in the Senate, basically to try and bring the guy up to speed and also to kind of judge what the guy says.
Oh. Yes, this is dire indeed. Did you come with a Professor Appleshield in your party?
Yes, we did.
We have had many theological discussions over the years. He has invited me to a meeting. He also shows the ring.
Perfect. I fear I do not have one of the rings, but I am very familiar with... Well, not very, but I am familiar.
What I will say is... there is a cult that the church, well, the temple and the holy orders have been fighting for many years. Whilst Atria itself has seen little war, or veritably politically, we have never stopped fighting. And it seems they've reared their ugly head on a grander scale. These dragon attacks are they have a connection to a recurring enemy of ours. You may have heard a similar sentence shared in the Senate. We are careful with its name towards outsiders because most of the pure-blooded brethren have the ability to change their form a lot, whereas people like myself, who only share partial lineages, do not have that issue, and we feel it necessary to keep them probably under wraps, so that wider societies do not exterminate us all when they don't know who can be trusted or not. They are a group that feel hard done by various of the status quo of the world. I'm sure you are an educated man and know of somewhat of the history of the world. And you know especially of the Eastern ideology that there was this great summit, and before that there was times of the gods and the evils. Well, in between those times, before the Fae, after the Primordials, there was a time of dragons. And they wish to revive that. However, that time was heavily scrubbed from the history of the world. Put it that way.
I am sure we will speak more of this at the meeting, but you have certainly given me something to look into. I'm going to be joining my companions at the library. I just wanted to make our presence here known and seek the guidance of the Church of Bahamut, as I do believe that you will be able to give us a unique insight into what may be happening here. And as I said, I treasured the guidance of my friend Zedaar. He clearly trusted your organization, and so I shall as well.
It is very lovely to hear. I will also do what research I can, and I will see you at the inevitable meeting. But feel free to pray if that's what you feel need to do. The connection to Bahamut here is as close as you can get without ascending the mountain.
I thank you for your time.
He nods.
I will take some solace in this. I'll kind of look around for a quiet spot.
Sure thing. You do so. Okay. We have 8 minutes left. I'm sure there's more research that wants to be done. So if anyone, does anyone have any bearing questions that we can get to during this? If not, we can do some rolls off camera. I can divulge some information and we can move on to other things for next week.
I just had that one about Lolth and Asmodeus, see if they had any kind of relationship.
Sure. If you can give me a roll.
13.
There you don't find anything direct. In fact, you actually find more. It's little bits from a lot of the book that James is reading. That actually, for a while, Lolth was on the side of the Fae for a long time, and was fighting on the side of the Fae Court before it sundered.
This will be things that I probably knew from before then.
Yeah.
The only other question I had was the magic surrounding the trader trees or the process and stuff like that, but you could send that to me off camera if you wanted to.
Yeah, give me another roll as well, so I don't know. Also, Breton, if you can give me some, give me 2 rolls as well, and we'll discuss what you find.
That's
For the
number 11.
context of what he's researching, this is going to be a sell. For the context of what he's researching, can he also use context clues to use religion to research this rather than investigation?
Yeah, I'd absolutely allow that.
Sure.
Especially
go
with
with that.
where you are researching that, I think that's definitely applicable.
That's 22.
Okay. I will divulge some information to you in private then about that.
Would
But
these-
yes,
Were these supposed to be at advantage?
yes.
Oh, I rolled the first one not at advantage and the second one at
Oh
advantage.
my! So your 26 was not at advantage. Oh boy.
Well, that would have. So that was 26 and an 11, and I'll roll the next two.
To be fair, like with the
It's a
with the
13.
26, I don't think you would have got any more than I'd given you anyway. I gave you essentially the whole Wikipedia article.
Yeah, so 13 is the highest I got for the Trader Tree stuff.
They actually don't really have any information on that. They know of the practice and they know the general speak, but there's no like, oh, this is how you undo the Traitor Tree spell.
Well, yeah, no, I meant like just more like the type of magic, kind of just the detail, like a little bit more details.
The
I'll
thing
try and
that
just
you
get as much
get from it
information as I
is some of the it takes some of the most powerful magic known to undo.
could. Gotcha.
Is what seems to be spelled a lot.
That's worrying.
Okay.
But is Darius here? Darius? Were you doing any research?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to check. I hadn't forgotten. Well, I'm going to say that we end this session 5 minutes early. Just because it's a lot of questions that I can take off camera, and I feel like some of them deserve explanations that are longer than I have time for with this episode. So all I have left to do today is to thank those who have been here. Thank you to the wonderful DM Opal, DM Lake, Kinda Odder, Lord Lambert, Mordred Viking, Thomas Roach, and Ghibli Jam. I've been Midgeman. This has been the Component Cast with another episode of the Elendor Chronicles. We will be back next week with more of this. And until then, we will see you around. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.